Right. Good evening, Internet, and welcome to another lag stream. This is your host, Alaris, and this Thursday night, we will be continuing our streams of ReZero, Starting Life in Another World, The Prophecy of the Throne. It's been a couple weeks now, since we last played this, so let's
press onward with
Subaru, do you have a minute?
Right, okay, so before we do that, I guess let's recap. Um, Obviously last week we were playing one of the Steam Next Fest games, Hazuki Dies, which was really good actually. Looking forward to the full release of that, for what it's worth. But 2 weeks ago we played, we continued our playthrough of this, ReZero, Prophecy of the Throne. In that session, I'm trying to remember exactly what happened. It's been a couple weeks, and my memory is, how do I put this politely? Awful. Awful. But, let's see. When we last left our heroes... Come on, kitty. Get comfy. Subaru had returned to the castle, to Roswell. Roswell? Roswell. Roswell? I want to say Roswell. Castle. And found out Emilia died. And then he died. And then time reset. Obviously. Because that's what happens. He's got that superpower of time resetting. So, this time around, we're in Loop 2, day something or other. Let's go find out what day it is. Day 2, Loop 2. Let's actually look at the flowchart. Might as well. So, we got all the way to day 9 before we saw the tragedy at the manor. Now we're back to day 2, where we're attempting to avoid notifying the witch cults of Emilia's existence so that they don't come after her and cause the whole death thing. So, I know we avoided going out and rescuing some of the merchants, which is what initially clued them in, supposedly. And now we're staying at the home base instead of going all the way to town for the whole thing.
Mealy, what are you doing here?
Well, with so many people in the mansion today, there isn't really anywhere for me to stay.
Isn't there though?
No need to be so coy. In fact, we could walk around arm in arm if you want.
Ah, Subaru.
No, that's alright.
Damn, shot down.
Are you worried about Rom and Rem?
Yes, very. Aren't you as well, Subaru?
I'd like to say they'll be fine, but I just can't stop thinking about them. Petra shooed me away because I was zoning out and getting in the way. Rom and Rem are counting on me to handle things here, but I'm doing a pretty sloppy job of it.
Oh right, you're supposed to basically be the maid while they're gone killing the bandits that Emilia originally helped with.
Nothing happens to them.
Same here.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll be fine. I reply to Emilia, then look at the view outside the window with her. There won't be nothing out there, I know that, but I have to keep up this facade. All I can do now
Please come back safe, you two.
is hope. Afterward, thanks to Petra and the villagers, we managed to tackle everything that needed to be done around the manor. I may have given Emilia an unnecessary reason to worry, but at the very least, everything's fine for the moment. The only thing left to do is wait for the twins to report back with good news. At least, I thought that'd be the end of it.
Nothing to report?
No, there was nothing out of the ordinary. Leaf House Highway was quite tranquil. There was no trace of any bandits to be found.
Sus. can hardly believe what Ram and Rem are saying.
As Sister mentioned, the highway is secure. It should be possible to pass through without any threat of the Dusk Bandits or other dangers. I see. That's good. I'm glad nothing happened, but I'm more relieved that you two returned safely.
My sentiments exactly, Subaru. Amelia is happy to have Ram and Rem return safe and sound, but I can't share her jubilation. It's a 10-cent word. Of course, I'm happy about the girls coming back unharmed, but...
What's going on here?
The traders were attacked on Leafus Highway. Then Otto came to us for help. That's what I know after returning by death. As a fundamental rule, events like this don't change in any major way when I return by death, especially if it's an event I'm not directly involved in.
So what changed? Are Otto and his friends okay?
Subaru, is something bothering you?
You're sure nothing was out there?
We already told you there was nothing. Do not make me repeat myself.
This may not be what you were expecting, Subaru, but the outcome is the same. It's good to hear that the highway is safe for travel.
It's not, though. We're definitely still going to get attacked. I bet money on it.
Now Miss Amelia will be able to depart to the royal capital without worry.
Oswald, that's...
The royal selection's postponement is a matter of grave importance. I can't just sit around and twiddle my thumbs. I need to personally go to the royal capital. I must find out why this is happening.
I mean, Subaru could literally tell you.
No, wait, Mealy. You just need to find out why it was delayed, right? That wouldn't necessarily require you to go yourself.
I am an integral part of the selection process, which means I have a responsibility to do so.
Not to mention we do not even know for how long it has been postponed. It wouldn't make sense to not head to the royal capital and find out beforehand. Do you think someone so boorish as to not take action when discussions of the royal selection begin would be fit to be a ruler?
I'm really... You know what, Roswell? I'm not as, you're not as off-putting today. It might be because you're not stressing random words.
Well...
Judging by Amelia's resolve and Roswell's attitude, it's clear that I can't influence the way things are going. In that case, the least I can do is...
Then I'm going to. I'll do everything I can to support Mealy.
Without knowing what will happen when we arrive, this is the best I can offer in return.
Damn it. Just what's going on?
In the end, the rest of the conversation goes just as I remember. Amelia is to be escorted to the capital by Rem and me. The only reason I'm tagging along is to receive treatment and heal my overtaxed body. We're set to leave a day earlier than last time, but the general flow of events is relatively the same.
Why is it that only the bandits disappeared this time around? I don't get this at all.
Stop muttering and walking circles around Betty. You are so annoying, I suppose.
Oh, right, the child dragon thing.
Come on, Bayako, don't be like that. I just need some time to mull things over with you.
All you are doing is pacing around and mumbling to yourself.
I'd talk about it if I could, but I have my reasons for why I can't. I wish you'd just understand that.
You should consider just how unreasonable your comments are, I suppose.
Hey, how would you react if a notorious group of bandits suddenly changed their plans of attack?
Why would you ask such a ridiculous question? That would obviously mean they were inconvenienced in some manner, I suppose.
Inconvenienced? How so?
Their plan, for example. If it were to be exposed, they would have no choice but to abandon it.
So if their plans got leaked somehow...
But the only place it could have been leaked from is here, because Subaru's the only thing that changed. What if the bandits dropped what they were going to do because I sent Rem and Ram their way? That may have influenced their intentions. That means we wouldn't have had a chance to deal with them in the first place.
I don't get this. Just what the hell is going on?
Cease your fussing. It is a waste of time to dote over such things, I suppose.
Bayako?
Anyone who debases themselves by
by becoming a petty thief is susceptible to changing their wills on a whim. There is no point in trying to add logic into that equation, I suppose. You merely acted upon what you thought was best at the time. As a result, that girl's path is now safe to travel upon. You should be satisfied with your accomplishment.
Hey, are you actually trying to make me feel better?
What?
Oh, you've finally shown your affectionate side, Baiko! It was hard work getting all the flags to proc, but I knew you had it in you!
Oh, Subaru.
Take that back, I suppose!
It always ends up like this.
Either way, Beatrice has a point. Mulling it over won't resolve anything, that much is certain. But knowing that the bandits haven't been dealt with this time around makes me think of everyone in the capital who were delighted and relieved that they were last time.
There's just so much to consider. Think hard, Subaru Natsuki. It's the only weapon you've got.
Loop 2, Day 3. The next day, my concerns still unresolved, we depart for the royal capital. Like last time, the ride there is a breeze. Thanks to the Land Dragon's divine protection, we don't experience any delays or bumps in the road along the way. But that's not the only thing that stayed the same.
Subaru, up ahead! Someone is being attacked!
What? What's going on?
Bandits are still a thing, apparently. I peek out of the carriage to see rising smoke and hear some people clamoring off in the distance. But that's all I need to know to figure out what's happening.
Bandits? Amelia, we should
help them. Rem, speed up the carriage. Yes, Miss Amelia.
Of course.
I think about stopping Amelia, but only for a fleeting moment. I know she isn't the type to just ignore someone being attacked in front of her. Because of that, the ensuing events are already set in stone. We charge into the scene of the Dusk Bandits' attack, Amelia and Rem taking charge. Then...
How are you? You with these...
Oh, wait, help!
No, this is no time to be distracted. You should take care of these bandits first.
Just like last time, Saloom and Puka join the fight against the Dusk Bandits as our reinforcements. With their help, we successfully take down the Dusk Bandits and arrest the whole lot of them.
Thank you for your help. I don't know what we would have done if you didn't show up.
Don't thank us.
You did it because you wanted to, you say? What a cool guy you are. Again with the silent treatment. Hey there, I'm Puka. This strong but silent type is Solemn. You're pretty lucky we happen to be around. I appreciate your assistance. Oh, and I'm Amelia. The two over there are Rem and Subaru. Mr. Solemn, Miss Puka, I am grateful for your aid. Is something wrong, Subaru? Why are you making that face?
Oh, it's nothing. Just thinking to myself. Solemn's pretty strong.
Of course he is. He's made a contract with me after all.
Puka puffs out her chest, but Solemn pats her as a way to restrain her. Seeing that makes me feel a bit conflicted.
This attack changed by a day. I guess we can't avoid this meeting with Solemn and Puka, but...
Having returned by death only to arrive in this same situation, there's an uneasy feeling I just can't shake off. Like those traders who were attacked. Otto and the others from the caravan aren't here. This group is different from the one we saved last time. I guess that's to be expected, seeing as this attack happened on a different day. Traders don't just stay in the same spot for days on end. And yet...
Are you two adventurers from around here?
Huh? Adventurers?
We've never heard that to describe us before. We're more what you'd call wanderers, roaming around on an aimless journey.
An aimless journey.
Now about those bandits. Oh, we won't ask for a reward or anything. We don't want to carry around anything that'll unnecessarily weigh us down.
No, please reconsider. It'd be good if people knew of your fighting prowess. You could could even give yourself aliases or something and get more popular that way. I mean, with Puka being a cute squirrel and all, why not be known as the Rodent Ronin?
That does sound quite adorable.
It does.
Who would want to wander around with such a dumb name? No way! Besides, we could say the same to you. If you really want recognition, just claim it for yourselves.
There are a few reasons we can't exactly do that. Circumstances higher than the highest mountains, deeper than the deepest oceans, prevent us.
Oh, don't trouble them anymore with those weird sayings of yours. Please pay him no mind. We can finish up here on our own.
I wish you safe travels on your journey. Thank you again for your assistance.
My attempt to have Solemn and Puka take all the credit for defeating the Dusk Bandits ends in vain, with Emilia and Rem sending them off shortly after.
We'll meet again!
I watch as they wave back at us, the failure of my plan settling in. There's only one thing I can do now.
Thank you so much. You're a real lifesaver. I'd like to let the others know of...
No thanks.
Huh?
You don't have to let anyone else know. It was just one big coincidence. The Dust Bandits were affected by the rain and they scurried off. Let's just go with that for now, alright?
No, you jest. The Dusk Bandits must be held accountable for their countless crimes, and you finally put a stop to them. The kingdom may even reward you handsomely. Yet you'd throw that all away?
I mean, given the alternative, yes.
It's fine, just forget it. If you're really thankful, then keep that feeling in your heart.
Huh? What?
Alright, their lips are sealed. Mealy, Rem, it's time to go.
What's going on here?
Knowing Subaru, I am certain he has a good reason. I shall believe in his intentions.
With that, I shoo off the traitors hot on our heels. It's almost like we're running away from them as we leave. It's a bit forced, but I have no choice. This is all to save the mansion and the village. Besides, I do feel relieved about it all. I want to avoid having the witch cult come after us, but I know I wouldn't feel at ease letting the Dusk Bandits run loose. It's said that evil deeds do not prosper. In that case, it feels great to help out. I do wish we could have made our way to the capital without incident, though.
You guys are awesome!
I can't thank you enough for defeating those Dusk Bandits.
Ah, they didn't listen.
Thank you so much for avenging my husband.
Oh, it really was just happenstance. But I am glad to have given you all some peace of mind.
I watch as a flustered Emilia interacts with the citizens of the capital, holding my head in my hands at their reactions.
How the hell do they know?
I made sure that the traitors wouldn't talk about her this time. I specifically asked them to keep quiet.
So how do all these people know about what we did to the Dusk Bandits?
Emilia looks happy, and Rem watches her with a smile. But to be honest, I can only feel the weight of an eerie, more ominous sensation arising. Hey. Leave it. It's like I'm missing something super important here.
Hmm?
I heard the news. Everyone is incredibly happy that you defeated the Dusk Bandits.
Melty?
Huh? Have we met before?
No!
Crap. Well, you know how it is.
I apologize, but I'm not sure I follow.
It's just an intuition thing.
What? You managed to figure out my name on instinct alone? That's incredible!
Yeah, we'll go with that.
It just came to me in a flash of inspiration is all. I'm sure you get that a lot, right?
No, this is my first time. Does my appearance really scream Melty?
Yeah, totally. I can't imagine you being named anything else. You're the most melty I know. You should have more confidence in yourself.
I
Subaru.
don't think I understand you fully, but I get the feeling you think too highly of me. Oh? Do you know her, Subaru?
She's quite pretty.
Oh, she's...
Oh, regardless,
Oh.
thank you.
Oh.
I'll be rooting for you.
He said he can't just reveal that she's a royal candidate. I meant to actually say that, but...
Yeah, you too! Oh, there she goes.
Her manner of running is worrisome. She looks like she'll trip any second.
I'm sure she'll be fine. Though, it looks like Tiga isn't with her.
Tiga is pretty protective of Melty, so I'm surprised he's not walking around by her side.
Though the royal selection hasn't started yet, so maybe there's no reason to worry so much while it's still bright out.
Subaru?
It's nothing. Anyway, it seems you're pretty popular now, Mealy.
Yes, they were all quite excited. The citizens are truly grateful for the Dusk Bandits' defeat. We really did just happen to be in the area, though. But it is nice to see everyone in good spirits. I'm glad we were passing by.
Yeah.
Seeing Amelia's and Rem's reactions make me think we did the right thing by taking out the Dusk Bandits, but...
His name will still be out there.
I tried my best to not repeat this outcome, but my efforts were useless yet again. What can I do here? I need to think this through more.
Think of it, there was someone you wanted to visit, right, Subaru? Would you like to go see them now?
Oh, that's right. I did want to stop by, but...
We don't have any time for that right now, do we? Even though our promise is pretty
After
important.
This, you're gonna visit or the other candidates, right?
Yes, but you can join us later.
It's fine. Let's do that first. It's a much higher priority right now.
Oh? But...
Let's go! Let's go! Let's just get it over with.
Huh? Hey, don't push me! I'm going to trip! Subaru's determination is quite adorable.
Oh, Ram, you're adorable. Just like that, I managed to nudge a bewildered Emilia all the way to Cruchet's manor.
I have heard many a word of your glorious achievements as of late. It seems you've accomplished a great deal.
I think that's a bit overdramatic.
Merits deserve to be recognized in kind. I must express my own admiration for such a deed.
Cruchet greets us, then proceeds to praise us for our victory over the bandits. Emilia happily accepts the praise, and I certainly have no reason to turn it down either, but...
I just can't bring myself to be as excited.
You seem rather upset by this. Subaru Natsuki, was it?
Yeah. It's just that all this recognition kinda puts a wrench in our plans. If Amelia becomes too popular before the royal selection begins, the other candidates will definitely be more wary of her.
Like my faction, for example.
Right. Oops.
Oh, Subaru, stop acting so silly all the time. I'm sorry, Cruchet. It really doesn't mean any harm.
Think nothing of it. Subaru Natsuki's thinking is completely reasonable. Once the royal selection begins, we will all be competing against one another. It is necessary for us to look ahead at what is to come. In that sense, I respect your current mindset.
It's reassuring to hear.
Cruchet is as magnanimous as always, but to her, this is only our first meeting. Yet she faces me head-on, and listens intently to my words. Maybe she's someone I can have a real discussion with.
Cruchet, about the request I put in my letter.
Ah, yes. You speak of Subaru Natsuki's condition. Regarding that... Ferris.
Yes, Miss Cruchet. Fairy understands as well. Just a glance tells me Subaru's gate is pretty meowsed up. So I've got a lot of work ahead of me.
Meowsed up?
Ferris's rather blunt comment is actually the main reason we're visiting Cruchet. They're referring to my treatment. After this meeting, I'll be visiting the manor every day to have Ferris heal me. It's hard to deny their offer at this point. That's
Sorry
why...
if this is rude of me to ask, Cruchet, but since I'll be under your care for a while, would you mind if I asked you some questions first?
You have queries for me? I certainly do not mind, but what could they be about?
I know this isn't the best way to go about it, but I just have to know. Can I trust you?
Subaru, what are you saying all of a sudden?
I don't mean to alarm you, but this is really important to me. I mean, I'll be visiting this place a lot more frequently from now on. and I'm on your side, right, Mealy? I'd basically be walking around with a sign on my back that said, "Mug me."
Mug? No, never mind that. That was very rude of you to say.
Miss Amelia's right. I think you've got the wrong idea here, Subaru. You're the ones making this request, and we're the ones deciding whether to oblige. That's not exactly the sort of attitude you should have here, don't you think?
Ferris is letting off an intense pressure that barely hides the smoldering rage beneath a playful smile. It almost breaks me, but then...
Ferris, calm yourself.
But, Miss Cruchet...
Subaru Natsuki is right to question our agreement. He also fully understands the discourtesy of his inquiry, yet he still finds it necessary to confirm our intentions. This concerns the royal selection, a matter that affects the entire nation. If he regards himself as a member of a concerned party, we shouldn't cast fault his way.
If Mew say so, Miss Cruchet. Mew should be thankful she's willing to hear Mew out, Subaru.
I'm definitely grateful for Cruchet's fortitude, but you sounded so scary just now.
I'm pretty sure Ferris was serious just now. That's some genuine loyalty. I need to watch what I say around her.
That caught me off guard. But what exactly is it you want out of this exchange, Subaru?
It's like I said earlier. I just want to confirm whether or not I can trust Cruchet. Or, more specifically, I'm hoping our camps can be on good terms with each other.
I see. It isn't a matter of you and me specifically, but our factions.
It'd be a good idea to have Mealy and Cruchet form an alliance that benefits the preparation for and the outcome of the royal selection. Wouldn't you agree?
An alliance. Between Cruchet and I?
Not a bad idea, right? We should ally ourselves with whoever we can get on our side. We could say we formed this bond over my injury.
Cruchet folds her arms, deep in thought. I'm relieved to see she's not outright rejecting my proposal. After my discussion with Roswell, this is the next step in my plan to stop the witch cult. Having failed in stopping Amelia's name from spreading after defeating the Dusk Bandits, I can't just while away feeling sorry for myself. I have to assume that the attack will still happen and act accordingly. For that to happen, I'll need allies at my side. Luckily enough, I know I can count on Cruchet and her camp, based on my previous dealings with her. She's one of, if not the most capable and trustworthy person I know in the royal capital. She's the one I've had the most interactions with, after all. That's why...
It is an interesting proposition, Subaru Natsuki. However, I would like to ask you a question in return.
What is it?
Your request just now. Was it spoken from your heart, in your own words?
Huh? Yes?
I don't get why she's asking me that. Does she suspect someone is making me say this on their behalf? Thankfully, though, my reply seems to relax Cruchet's sharp stare a bit.
Very well. I thought you might have been influenced by the Margrave to make such an offer.
The Margrave.
But that doesn't appear to be the case. I can see that you truly do care for Amelia and her best interests.
What? It's not that obvious, is it?
Oh, you mean how you worry about me? I already know you do. Do you really think I'd be so feather-brained?
That's not a word you hear much these days.
She uses a lot of words you don't hear much these days, I suspect.
Alright, alright. Get it together, Mewtwo. So, what will Mew do, Miss Cruchet? To be honest, I don't see a point in us forming an alliance with anybody.
Right. I'd like to hold off on making such a decision for now. It isn't such a trivial topic that we need only make verbal confirmations without considerate thought.
Yeah, guess you're right.
However, should this be an official proposal from Amelia rather than a personal request made by Subaru Natsuki, then I intend to consider it more seriously.
Really? That'd be great! Thank you so much! We did it, Mealy! We've got a pretty powerful ally on our side now!
Consider.
Huh? What's up, Mealy? Why the cute face?
Don't tease me. I'm incredibly upset right now. I'm in a big whirl with you making all these decisions without my input.
That's fair.
Man, you really don't hear that phrase much these days. I mean, I'm sorry, but does that mean you're against it?
Don't look at me like I threw you out on the street. You're making me look like the bad guy here. But no, I'm not against it. I know you've put a lot of thought into this, and Cruchet does seem to be in favor of the proposition. I know the order of our meeting has gotten a bit mixed up, Cruchet. But I'd also like to ask you to form an alliance with us. The royal selection has been postponed, but once it begins, and even leading up to it, I'd like for us to be on good terms.
Yes, I would like that as well. One of us could very well take the throne, or perhaps another will. No matter what tomorrow brings, I will always remember this moment of accord between us.
Agreed.
Always, in quotes. Emilia firmly takes Cruchet's outstretched hand in her own. I find myself relieved seeing them exchange a handshake. I hope this manages to change something along the way, like a counter-strike against fate. And so, while it's not necessarily an alliance, we succeed in forming a friendly relationship with Cruchet.
I must say, I am quite surprised. I did not expect you to have planned so far ahead, Subaru.
I must say, oh, wow. Freaking brain, okay.
Sorry for not letting you guys in on it first. I was actually pretty scared not being fully prepared for it.
If I ended up insulting them, the worst case would be me getting kicked out of the mansion. I wouldn't want to drag these two down with me. That's why I didn't want to bring it up beforehand. Although, thinking about it now, it was a pretty big gamble on my part.
All's well that ends well, at least. We managed to make it through. For now.
Yes, Miss Amelia seemed to be in good spirits, and I'm certain Lord Roswell will be satisfied with this outcome as well.
Huh? Roz, too? Did he want us to do something else?
Oh, I apologize. Please disregard my musings. That is an issue I alone must handle.
Well, whatever's going on, just let me know if you need anything from me, alright? I'll help however I can.
That is what I was going to say to you, Subaru.
My bad. By the way, Rem, there's something I wanted to ask.
You are referring to my synesthesia, no?
Rem solemnly nods as she confirms my suspicion. Synesthesia is a special bond that two people share, and Rem and Ram possess this ability. Her intuition from this shared sense is what alerted Rem to what was happening at the mansion last time. Now that I know about it, I make a request of Rem.
If you sense anything from Rom, let me know right away, okay? I hope nothing happens, but...
Yes, of course. But I must ask in return. Are you expecting something to happen?
Well...
I hesitate for a second. I don't know if I should be so forward and tell her about the looming danger of the witch cult. While I think Rem will believe me if I convey the severity of the threat properly, there's still one thing I'm worried about. I put a hand on my chest, feeling my heartbeat. The steady rhythm pumps life throughout my body. The sheer terror of that sensation gripping my heart pierces through me. I can't tell anybody else about my return by death ability. It's a strict rule that came with the power. If I break it, a dreadful, agonizing punishment awaits me.
Yoo-hoo! Are you free right meow, Subaru? Miss Cruchet's busy right meow, so I thought I'd deal with our agreement before it gets too late.
Master Felix.
Oh, come now, Rem. Don't be rude. I told Mew to call me Ferris.
I apologize, but I do hesitate in using nicknames for formal greetings.
Wow, so stubborn. Well, I won't force Mew.
Sorry. She may not look it, but Rem is pretty bullish. You're better off letting this one slide. Anyway, What's this agreement you're talking about?
Don't play dumb. It's the whole reason you all came here today. I'm talking about your treatment, Subaru.
That's right.
It hasn't really sunk in for me yet, but apparently my body's in pretty rough shape after I used some magic. Ferris is the healer who's supposed to help in my recovery. But the healing process isn't pleasant. Healing my gate, the organ needed for magic, is a process that feels like my innards are being turned into a smoothie. I'd like to avoid that wherever possible.
Subaru, Master Felix truly is a skilled healer, despite boasting such egregious mannerisms. I'm very worried about you, so please endure the treatment a little longer.
Yep. I don't think I agree with how she put it, but Rem's got the right attitude.
What?
Besides, your treatment is a testimony to the amicable relations between Miss Cruchet and Miss Amelia, isn't it? If Mew turned me down, well, I think Mew understand where I'm going with this, right?
I can't deny that. Alright then, fine. I, Subaru Natsuki, won't go back on my word. Bring it on!
Great, Subaru. Rem is quite impressed.
Yeah, how manly of Mew and all that. Let's get started then. Just relax your body, Meow.
And the suffering begins.
This feeling, I'm gonna barf. I give up. Uncle, please stop, Ferris.
The day slowly wears on, a feeling of accomplishment from things going relatively smoothly, washing over the pain I previously experienced. Ugh. Loop 2, Day 4. So much happened before we got to the royal capital, and so much more has happened since we arrived. The next day, I head to the shopping district with a distinct goal in mind. Oh no, loading? That means I'm gonna... Oh no. I need to visit this shopkeeper at the Apostol. Just like last time, the meeting about why royal selection was delayed is being held at the royal castle. But there's someone I've been meaning to meet up with first. Since we were delayed a day getting to the royal capital, I still haven't been able to see him. This is something I need to do before the meeting to keep the fake candidate from going around unchecked. And there's also that promise I made with Shopkeep. Still, my mind wanders back to Cruchet, someone we managed to form good relations with just yesterday. Maybe I can visit her before I see the Shopkeep.
Sir Wilhelm should be doing his morning training at the Karsten Mansion right about now. Training at the crack of dawn, always striving to improve. He's a true swordsman in every sense.
I'm busy. Right.
If you're...
I helped improve our relations with Cruchet's camp yesterday. That might be why I found myself going out now, and heading towards the Apostol in the shopping district. But, out of the corner of my eye, I spy Wilhelm. I haven't been able to properly greet him this time around. I can visit the stall after saying hello to him. He swings his sword with precise, deliberate movements. He also commands a powerful presence. His incredible skill is obvious to even me, someone who's only practiced with the sword a bit. I find myself staring at Wilhelm's practice swings.
My apologies. Did your appointment with Varus change to an earlier time?
Oh, no. I just happened to be passing by. I may postpone it to prioritize meeting with Cruchet, but I would never schedule it earlier. Besides, today...
The royal selection candidates are gathering at the royal castle, I presume?
Yeah. Oh, Cruchet must have gotten summoned too, huh?
Yes, a messenger arrived last night. I heard their meeting is to explain why the royal selection has been postponed.
That's right. They'll all find out about the 6th candidate there. But only a select few higher-ups and the imposter would know about that. so I can't let anything slip here.
My apologies. I have yet to introduce myself.
Oh, that's right.
I am Wilhelm Trias. I serve Duchess Cruchet Karsten.
I'm Subaru Natsuki. I'm a servant who works for that shady Roswell. Though Roswell's just a bonus. I mainly serve melee.
Margrave Mathers is a bonus? That's quite the comment.
Ah, that's the Margrave. Okay.
Roswell isn't really all that important. If it weren't for melee, I wouldn't give him the time of... No, that's a bit much. Please just keep that between us. I do work for him after all.
Very well. I shall not speak of this to anyone.
Aw, you're very... I don't know. You're very something, Wilhelm.
And sorry, by the way. I didn't mean to interrupt your training.
Pay it no mind. I was just about finished.
Then, if it isn't too much trouble, could I have a minute of your time?
Of course. But I do question whether what I have to say is of any interest to you.
Wilhelm is so skilled with the sword that even Rem respects his abilities. I want to make sure we're on good terms, so we're prepared when the enemy strikes again.
I'm sure that at your skill level, you can take on any number of opponents with ease.
I would not say so. I try my best to battle one-on-one whenever possible. If I could, I'd like to have 1 or 2 allies at my side when dealing with an opponent. In fact, a 4 or 5 against 1 in which the opponent yields before we battle would be the most ideal. Though I am certain there will be times when I am outnumbered with no choice but to fight. However, such situations will only arise due to a failure in strategizing properly on my part. To keep the loss of life at a minimum and guarantee victory, I strive to use numbers to my advantage at all times.
Huh, I didn't expect that. I just pictured you cutting down enemies left and right all by yourself.
Perhaps I've grown old.
Oh, but thanks. You just confirmed what I was thinking is right.
Oh?
I want to ask you something. If our alliance with Cruchet goes through, you'd help us out, wouldn't you? Am I correct in assuming you'd lend us a hand, should anything ever happen to us?
I did indeed hear from my master that our camps are considering an alliance. I will, of course, give my utmost effort to provide what little assistance I can, should our alliance ever become established.
Little? You're way too humble. I'm counting on you, Wilhelm. You're like a whole army on your own. I guess we'll have to make sure our alliance comes to fruition.
That model is just awful for Subaru. Alright. We don't have much time till they come to pick us up for the meeting. I should hurry to the shopkeep at the apple stall.
Did I get here too early? Not many shops are open yet. Oh well, I suppose I'll shop somewhere that is open. Oh well.
Sorry, bud. I'm still setting up. Sorry, I'm still setting up. Come. Sorry.
Hey, it's been a while. How have you been?
Welcome! Wait, who the heck are you?
Well, I guess you did forget before, too. Still doesn't make it any less sad.
Look, kid, I don't know what you're so down about, but is there something you need from me? If not, then I need to get back to work.
Now hang on, there is something I need. I'm here to fulfill the promise we made and apologize for not coming here yesterday.
And so I reunite with the person I'd been putting off seeing. Even though he doesn't remember anything that happened, I'm happy to see him and finish shopping. I buy a bag full of apples, as I promised, and the shopkeeper is all smiles as he hands me the goods. One of my tasks in the royal capital is now complete. But the reason for my visit isn't just to shop.
Thanks for your business. You're officially a regular of mine, having bought so much. I appreciate it.
No, a promise is a promise. By the way, would you mind doing a favor for me?
Huh? A favor?
I want you to relay a message. Tell Old Man Rom.
Uh-huh.
The shopkeeper's expression changes as I tell him my message. His new look actually fits the scarred face. It's honestly so intense, it's kind of freaking me out.
Jeez, don't scare me so much. I just want you to tell Old Man Rom what he wants to know. Tell him that Reinhardt has what he's looking for.
Reinhardt? You mean the Sword Saint?
Yep, that's the one. Old Man Rom should know what I mean by that.
I hear you, I guess. You are a regular after all. A merchant's gotta take care of his customers.
Thanks. I'll be back again soon. Whew. Finally passed my message along.
It's a day late, but I'm able to pass along the message I wanted to yesterday. As so long as Old Man Rom gets it, things should move along exactly like last time.
I just don't know if this delay will affect anything. I'd like to control the situation as much as possible, so everything ends up the same.
I mean, wouldn't you want it to be different?
Subaru, did you do what you needed without issue?
Yeah, everything's fine. Here, I got you a little souvenir.
There are so many appas. Very well. Please allow Rem to handle them.
Sounds good. Make them nice and tasty, alright?
Yes. And afterward...
Yeah, I know. The meeting about the Royal Selection's delay, right?
You already know about that?
Don't underestimate my ears. They hear everything. I'll be tagging along, just so you know.
I expected you to say that.
No matter what you say, Mealy.
All right. Let's go together then.
I'm definitely going to... Wait, what? You weren't gonna stop me?
Why are you so surprised, silly? You remember what happened yesterday? You helped us improve our relations with Crochet. I know now that you're taking the Royal Selection seriously. So I'd like you to come with us, I think.
My feelings have finally reached Mealy. Pinch my cheek, Rem.
As you wish.
Oh, but don't do it too... Wait! Ow, ow, ow!
I'm sorry. Are you okay?
Oh, he deserved that.
Yeah, but it felt like you were gonna tear my cheek off. But that means I'm not dreaming.
Hello, cat.
This is great!
Okay.
Royal Castle, here we come! Let's go!
Subaru, don't get so worked up. Rem, take care of him for me, okay?
Why, hello, kitty. How are you?
He will be in good hands. I will take care of Subaru with everything I have.
Aww.
You said that like you're really planning on going all out. You're scaring me here.
And so, after we discuss our plans, we head to the Royal Castle, just like last time, to attend the meeting discussing the Royal Selection's postponement. There...
Fine then. I'll join this stupid ceremony. You just want me to try to become the next ruler, right?
Belt boldly makes her claim, with Old Man Rom chained up behind her.
Things are going as planned for now.
I was a bit nervous for a second there, but I sigh in relief seeing Felt so determined to participate in the Royal Selection. The purpose of my delayed message to Old Man Rom was to get Felt to make that decision. In reality, however, she wasn't interested in going in the first place. She would have pulled out of the race if no one had intervened. I couldn't let that happen. The Royal Selection is only delayed because 6 candidates vie for the throne. If Felt dropped out, then the Royal Selection would commence as usual. Its starting isn't necessarily a bad thing. I'm not quite mentally prepared for it myself. But that's not the most pressing issue. There's an imposter amongst the 6 candidates. I don't want the process to start up again before I find out who that is. We still don't know who the fake candidate is, but one thing's for sure. They're up to no good. They're trying to usurp the throne after all. There's still so much I need to do. The most important thing right now is to take down the people who are after Emilia. On top of that, I need to figure out who's trying to take over the kingdom. I was just recently running around trying to save Arlem Village. Oh. What's going on here? Alright. And the manor, but the difficulty just spiked like crazy now. Despite the conflict that lies before me, the meeting proceeds like last time. Everything that follows is also the same too. But there's one thing that's different. When everyone stares down Amelia, someone else chimes in to defend her. Last time, it was Melty and Tiga. But now...
The idea of having a half-devil on the throne is asinine. And the one who sponsors you isn't even present. With such a critical matter affecting the kingdom, I question if he truly takes this seriously.
Well...
You go too far, Lord Zelgaf. How can Amelia refute her appearance and background?
Nice, Cruchet.
Duchess Carston, you would defend your own political opponent?
We may be competing against each other, but that is no reason to despise one another. I will never hesitate in speaking my mind to rebuff such irrational criticism. At the very least, I rebuke your concern of Amelia's outward appearance without understanding the person she is at her core. Would you not agree, Lord Zelgaf?
It would appear Lord Bordeaux has crossed a line.
Nice.
Your opinion is valid and well noted, Miss Cruchet. Miss Amelia, I offer you my apologies.
No, it's quite alright. The whole reason I want to become the next ruler is to do away with such a mindset.
Very good.
And so the meeting ends. But the events play out just like last time, as Melty chimes in saying that it would be a shame to end it on such a note, and then proposes her get-together.
And that's that. Looks like the same people have gathered here too.
It's a nice get-together, but the contrast between everyone present is stark. So many people are surrounding Melty, like before. Priscilla and Anastasia have already left, and then there's Amelia, a flower left in the corner.
Things are a bit different from last time. The discussion they had yesterday must have gone really well, seeing as Cruchet is hanging out with Amelia this time around. Things look pretty good for the time being.
I was glad to see Cruchet defend Amelia like that in the meeting. It seems she's taking her relations with Amelia more seriously than I thought.
Now, where's...
I look around for Reinhardt.
To talk to him too, if possible. Whenever the bad guys make their move, I want to have as many reliable allies on our side as I can get. And you can't get any more reliable than Reinhardt. I need to talk to him at all costs.
Hey, are you looking for someone?
That voice... Tiga?
Yes, that's my name, but... Did I already introduce myself? We were in such a rush. I don't recall telling you my name when we met last.
Oh, that's right. I know it because, well, you know.
What?
Call it a hunch.
Oh my gosh, he's doing that again.
Figured out my name on a hunch? Isn't that kind of amazing? Though, now that I think about it, Mel did mention that Miss Amelia's attendant can guess people's names on intuition alone.
Oh, it's not all that impressive. Anyone can do it.
There's no way that's true! This is the first time I've ever heard of such a thing!
He's so offended by that.
I mean, you just have a face that screams Tiga, you know?
Do I really? What sort of face do I have?
The one that screams Tiga, apparently.
Just look in a mirror. I need to take care of something while you do that.
What are you two yapping on about? It sounds fun. I hope you don't mind me joining in.
Oh, good timing. Subaru was just telling me about this amazing skill of his. Why don't you give it a try on her?
Well, like I said, I'm kind of in a hurry.
Come on, don't be like that. What about my friend here? Can you figure out her name too?
Oh, this sounds like an exciting game.
Sorry to ruin the fun, but your name is Sakura, right?
Wow.
Amazing. You're spot on. Did you overhear us talking somewhere, or...
Talking about what? Your conversations are highly secretive, involving private affairs of the kingdom, right? There's no way I'd know about...
Exactly. You shouldn't know about any of that. Yet somehow you do.
You're spilling too much information, Subaru.
We can't just let that go. I am Melis Knight, after all. Well, for now, anyway. Oh, it's nothing. Anyway, care to explain? Depending on what you say, I will respond accordingly.
I see the serious look in Tiga's eyes and gulp hard. Sakura's right next to him, a calm smile on her face. Her nonchalant demeanor is actually pretty terrifying. This is supposed to be a friendly get-together, but a cold sweat pours out of me. I take a deep breath.
Alright, you got me. I'll be honest. I've been looking into you guys.
Coming clean, are we?
So, you've been investigating us. Why is that?
Tiga and Sakura latch onto my statement. Of course, this is all a bluff. I haven't been looking into them at all. I just slipped up, revealing that I already know their names. But now that I'm in this situation, I'm gonna use it to my advantage. Hey, Bugaboo. Welcome to the chat. I can trust them and Melty. There's no point in us butting heads. We need to work together.
Keep this between us, okay? But this is about Amelia's background. It came up during the discussion earlier, so I know you're aware that she's a half-elf.
No, he's just a time traveler. Basically.
Of course. Though, her being a half-elf isn't the only issue. What with her silver hair and purple eyes.
What are you... well, species... Yeah, I guess you are speciesist. But... racist is against races. What would be the term for discrimination based on hair and eye color? Hello, Zoc the Kobold. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to what is referred to as a tactical visual novel. It's 99% visual novel, 1% tactical RPG. And even then, I very loosely call it tactical RPG, because it's really not. I was lied to by the Steam page.
I know. You're talking about the Witch of Envy, right?
Yeah, see, I was expecting something like, you know, Final Fantasy Tactics-esque or Fire Emblem-esque, and it is definitively not. I am 9 hours in, and I've had 2 fights. I guess I'm more 7 hours in, and I've had 2 fights. Still.
Subaru, you shouldn't say that name out loud so carelessly. No one will react well to hearing it. Not to mention, we're in the royal capital. Neither of us want such big wigs to send any threatening glares our way, do we?
Right. Sorry. Anyway, Amelia can't avoid the suspicion placed on her once everyone knows she's involved in the royal selection.
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed. I mean, I'm enjoying the story for what it is, but I was definitely expecting more gameplay and less just visual novel. Well, we'll see. It's actually been a while since I've had one of the fights, so hopefully one's coming up soon. But yeah, I don't know.
She'll be known throughout the kingdom, so there are sure to be people who will react to her candidacy.
Meaning?
Oh, I see. I think I'm starting to understand what's on your mind, Subaru. You care deeply for Miss Amelia, so you want to protect her. Is that it?
Maybe the second half is different, you know, like Doki Doki Literature Club. Yeah, true. It could be more... There'd be more tactics and fights in the second half. Now, where that second half happens is I'm not sure. Because... Let me see. Let me bring up the flowchart. So, this game involves time travel. And there's a number of loops that you go through. I'm on loop 2. And I think there's like 5 or 6 of them. So we'll say I'm like a fifth, a sixth of the way through the game, maybe? I don't know. Maybe the other loops go faster. That one took a huge turn. Oh, Doki Doki Literature Club? Yeah. I actually streamed that a few years ago. A friend really, really wanted me to play it. And, I was an hour or two into it, and it's just this cutesy little visual novel about a literature club, and, you know, honestly, I was gonna quit at about 2 hours or so in, because, I mean, don't get me wrong, cutesy visual novels, it's cool, but not necessarily my thing, and not that interesting to stream. So I was about to quit, and then the first twist happened, and boy oh boy, that was something. That was something. Sakura speaks in a relaxed and carefree tone, but she's dead on with my intentions. But that's exactly what I want her to think.
Yeah. I don't want to say it's a good thing, but with the royal selection having been delayed, it'll buy me some time. Or at least it should have.
The reveal is insane. It's a big payoff for the investment. Yeah. It is, because it feels so slow. And then just, bam, out of nowhere, you get a trigger warning suicide of one of the main characters. And that kind of throws... Whew. I was very happy I went into that game pretty much knowing nothing other than people praised it like... I don't know what comparison to make. They praised it like the next big thing, like sliced bread. And canned bread? Sliced bread? I think it's sliced bread. Like Betty White. But yeah, they really praised it, and that's about all I knew going into it. Let's talk so I don't peek.
We still ended up defeating those bandits. They're such an infamous group. If I'm being honest, that put a wrench in my plans.
I heard about that. The Dusk Bandits, right? Their treachery is pretty well known around here. She won't be able to avoid public scrutiny after that. That may just end up ruining her in the end.
Yeah, maybe Loop 3 or 4 will actually succeed at avoiding the Dusk Bandits. So that's what's happening here, right? After 7 hours, it'll be nothing but tank battles. You know, I'm kind of hoping. Like I said, don't get me wrong. I love a good visual novel. This is... I'm enjoying this. But I feel lied to. I know a bunch of people who are crazy about that game. Yeah. No. Pretty much all my friends... And I'm actually thankful to them that they basically got me to play it before I could run across spoilers, because there were spoilers all over the internet. And I just didn't have the context for a lot of them, so...
The witch cult.
That's right. It's only a matter of time before Amelia runs into them. So, before that happens, I've been looking for some allies I can rely on. And the other royal candidates have caught my attention.
And that's why you've been looking into Sakura and me. No, I suppose Mel is the one you're after. My, that's awfully sly of you.
Why'd you make it sound so underhanded?
Undertale's another one that takes that serious turn, but everybody knows about Undertale. That's true. I mean, everybody... At this point, yeah, everybody pretty much knows about Undertale. Going in, I didn't know as much, so I feel like I got the good experience out of it kind of being fresh and new. I don't know if I don't think I played it early on, like really early on anyway, but Yeah, I mean, it definitely takes that serious turn of kind of a happy-go-lucky JRPG-esque thing and turns it on its head. Well, no, JRPGs, that's not the term I guess I'd want to use. I don't know. I just a less serious RPG and then kind of turns it on its head last minute. Not even last minute. I don't know what I'm talking about. Don't mind me.
So, how do we seem according to your awful, yet clever sensibilities?
I'd say you guys pass with flying colors. Melty's a nice girl, Tika's a good friend, and your chest is rather big.
Hold up, Subaru, what? My dude, like, if you're trying to make allies, that is not... Can you... Is there a filter for your mouth? Because I'm pretty sure you turned it off.
My, you're a forward one.
Since when did we become such good friends? Did I not realize we fought back to back on a battlefield or something?
It happened in a different world line. Well, I'm only joking, but...
Yes, a different world line, nice. I know that's not a reference, but it's definitely... Well, it could definitely be a reference to Steins Gate, another time travel visual novel. Huh. The treasure chest is big. Treasure chest. Yes, that's what he meant. With that, I face the two of them and bow my head.
I know it's brazen of me to ask, but like I said, Amelia's in a bit of a pickle. So if something ever happens...
You want us to help you?
Yeah. And I'm sorry for snooping on you guys. If you want me to apologize by licking or eating your shoes or something, I'll do whatever.
Can't say I'd like that. What do you think, Sakura?
I think we can lend him a hand. I can tell how determined he is based on our conversation just now.
She's so just creepy with her tone of voice and the way she speaks.
Besides, what do you think Melty would say if we told her?
Knowing her, she wouldn't hesitate to help out. Our princess is just that sympathetic, after all.
Then?
I can't say anything definitive right now, but I'll relay your request to Mel. And depending on her response, well, she'll probably react just as you imagine.
Great! Thanks, buddy! I owe you one!
I think you owe more than that. You're a pretty smooth talker.
He is your good friend, you know.
Tika looks exasperated by all this, but something good did come out of it. I may have seemed suspicious because I returned by death, but I managed to cover it up well. Sure you did. Sure you did, bud.
Now I just need to talk to Reinhardt. Huh? Where is he?
I look around, but his strikingly red hair is nowhere to be seen.
What's wrong, Subaru? Are you looking for something?
Oh, hey, Mealy. How's the get-together going for you?
It's alright. Crochet has been kind to me. And Melty is such a nice girl.
I see. So you're getting to know the other candidates, huh? That's good to hear. Now that I think about it, have you seen Reinhardt anywhere? I want to talk to him about something.
Reinhardt? I saw him leaving earlier. He was talking to the captain of the Knights of the Royal Guard, so maybe something came up?
What? Are you serious? Damn, I should have been paying more attention. Can I catch up to him? Hold on, Reinhardt!
Oh, Subaru, wait! He never listens.
Miss Amelia, I just saw Subaru run off in a hurry.
Yes, he said he needed to talk to Reinhardt, so he just took off.
Sir Reinhardt, you say? But if that's the case...
Yes, I was thinking the same. He won't catch up.
Amelia et al. Nice. Yeah, Reinhardt's very fast. Oblivious to Amelia and Rem, I run around the castle as fast as my legs let me.
Reinhardt! Reinhardt!
I desperately run until a guard captures me, having thought I looked suspicious.
Reinhardt!
Loop 2, Day 5. The next day.
That's why I think it's best for you to not go back yet, Mealy.
You say that, but you know I must. We need to inform Roswell about the meeting as well.
Hang on. We can just send him a letter for that. We still don't really know what's going on in the royal capital, right?
Alright, you're gonna make an effort, but I think she's just gonna go back anyway and die.
Besides, if you return, they'll probably start hounding you again about Roswell not being here.
That's...
If you really insist, I could return to the mansion instead of sending a letter.
No, you can't. Your gate still needs to heal, right? It may not be a painless experience, but you can't just run away from it.
Right. I have that treatment for my gate. So then, I can't leave, and neither can you, in case anything comes up that needs your attention.
So, Rem?
Plus, Rem is your attendant, so we can't have her going back by herself.
You certainly have thought this through, haven't you? Good grief.
What shall we do, Miss Amelia?
I hate to say it, but Subaru's right. Let's pen a letter at once. Could you send it in my stead?
See, now I'm curious how she's going to die in this run.
Yes, Miss Amelia.
If she doesn't go back to the castle.
Mention the update from yesterday's meeting, as well as describe everything Subaru has done since we left.
You don't have to be that thorough. Rom will just scoff at the image of me fumbling around. Man, I can already feel her sneering at me from here.
Oh, jeez.
Subaru, do you have synesthesia with sister? How unfair!
Sorry, Rem. I didn't mean to make you feel jealous. Though I do wish I had your ability right about now.
If I did, I'd be more at ease getting a sense of what's going on at the village and the manor. But Rem seems to be upset over this, puffing her cheeks and glaring at me.
I thought you'd sour your face by pouting, but you still look so cute. These other worlds sure know how to cater to the fantasies.
While trying to calm Rem down, I'm at least relieved that I'm able to stop Emilia from heading back to the mansion. I've got about a 50-50 chance of success this time around. I don't want to leave Emilia's side and have to restart from square one again. Either way, I'm glad I could convince her.
But even if we stay in the royal capital, what do we do in the meantime?
Oh, right. I guess we should look into the fake candidate?
The imposter.
Since the royal selection was postponed because of them, then it'll officially resume once we expose who they are. We can at least do that much. Not to mention...
I'm the most suspect right now?
That's... yeah.
Oh, sorry. I wasn't trying to bring you down. I'm just saying that I'm aware of it, too. I'm the most suspicious candidate by far, so I need to take this more seriously.
Whoa, you're so confident, Mealy. Such a cute, shining, radiant, beautiful woman.
You're being a simp, Subaru. This is what being a simp looks like.
Yes. Now, about finding the imposter. How are we supposed to go about that? Do you have any ideas, Subaru?
Let's see. It's nothing crazy, but I think we should talk to the other candidates.
Talking to the other candidates?
Fake might slip up while talking to us. And even if they don't, we'll get some kind of info out of them. For example, gaining allies you can rely on is another way of weeding out the imposter. The more people you trust, the more we can cross off the potential list of being an imposter, right? That would mean the last one on the list is our fake candidate.
That's amazing, Subaru! Have you been hiding your genius from me?
That's a pretty low bar to be a genius, but it's an honor that I'll gladly accept.
As expected of Subaru, Rem admires his deep insights and superior knowledge from the bottom of Rem's heart.
Really, I don't deserve such serious praise.
In any case...
So there you have it. Let's go with this plan of exposing the fake while Mealy makes new friends with the other candidates. Make some new friends, and you'll secure a good future for yourself.
All right. I'll do my best. You do your best too, Subaru.
Yeah. Wait, do my best? For what?
That should be pretty obvious, no? Rem, please take care of Subaru. Yes, he will be in good hands. Okay, Subaru, it's time.
Wait. Time for what? I'm supposed to support Mealy with her 100 Friends project.
It's time for your appointment with Master Felix. Healing your body takes higher priority after all.
No. Please, no.
So you didn't forget! Hold on! Mealy!
Do your best with the treatment. I shall see you both later.
Ah! Wait! Don't leave me! Oh, I feel awful.
Yes, that's what healing does.
Stop exaggerating so much. You're being pretty rude, Mew, now. Fairy does all this for Mew, but Mew don't give me anything in return.
Oh, please stop talking like that.
You say that, but isn't healing magic supposed to be more gentle and soothing? What are you doing that churns my stomach inside out?
Well, if you're referring to normal healing tactics, then sure. But it takes a lot more to heal your body as it is, Subaru. In your case, I'm scrubbing away the mud around your gate, Meow. That means I have to adapt to the method of healing your condition. Anyway, we're done for today. We'll be doing the same thing tomorrow, too.
We just finished here, and I'm already getting depressed thinking about that. Anyway, your attitude sure hasn't changed, huh?
Fairy's attitude? Ah, are you referring to yesterday?
Oh, look, Alaris the cat girl. Yeah, I know. Except it's not. Alright, everyone. Let me ruin this for you. This is Felix. The cat boy. That is not a girl. And I'm sorry for ruining that for you. But that is not a girl. He just likes to dress cute. And mess with people.
Yeah, we talked about that fake candidate. I'm surprised that you aren't at least a little suspicious of us.
In reality, Amelia and Cruchet's alliance are solidified before our meeting. Before the revelation of the 6th candidate. Anime. Yeah, no, it's true. If news of an imposter were to spread, the candidates would naturally suspect one another. Their knights wouldn't be spared suspicion either. That's why I thought Ferris, who puts Cruchet on a pedestal high above the rest, would receive us negatively.
Miss Cruchet would get mad if I ever did something so petty, Meow. Besides, a promise is a promise, right?
So, you're saying you abide by Cruchet's strong sense of duty?
Well, there's that too. But I'm considering Miss Amelia's hand in all of this as well. I don't have any good reason to suspect her, Meow.
Does that mean you trust her?
I lean forward at an unexpected comment. And Ferris continues speaking in a casual tone while scratching a cheek.
Well, wouldn't it be pretty weird otherwise? Even if Miss Amelia were the imposter, what would her motives be?
Her motives? I mean, I guess she'd walk right into the royal selection and try to become ruler.
Exactly. But if that's the ultimate goal, then why put on such a front? Her being a half-elf puts her at a pretty big disadvantage.
Ferris says it like it's so obvious, but it's only just now hitting me. It shouldn't have taken me this long to realize something so crucial.
Am I really that blind? This is beyond stupid of me.
But now that Ferris has mentioned it, that's right. I hate to admit it, but as a half-elf, Amelia has the worst handicap in the royal selection. Why would anyone want to fake their way to the throne like that?
So you don't suspect Amelia by process of elimination, is that it?
That's not all. Miss Amelia is really bad at lying. She's not a very good actress.
I can't deny that.
I don't like hearing it from Ferris, but I'm relieved someone else noticed. Even though we support different candidates, I'm glad Ferris doesn't suspect Amelia. It's a huge weight off my shoulders, regardless of Ferris's reasons.
That's a relief. It's good to know we have one less enemy in the royal capital.
How rude! Miss Cruchet would never falter when making a promise like that. You had no reason to worry.
Yeah, sorry. But then, how do you take this? What are you planning on doing from here on out?
Are Mew trying to steal some intel from us? I mean, I'll tell Mew because we have nothing to hide. But we need to restart the royal selection. We want the royal selection to resume in earnest as well. But to do that, we need to expose the imposter. I guess you could say that we're looking into it in a variety of ways.
I suppose everyone would be doing the same. Alright, got it. So we're pretty much on the same page.
Then, let's keep this friendship thing going and continue our little exchanges.
Only if you're willing to spill your beans, too.
Alright then, that was
You sounded
adorable,
like
I
you
guess.
were in pain at first, but I heard laughter at the end. Are you getting along well with Master Felix now?
We're not so much getting along as we are good at probing each other.
After receiving my treatment, Rem and I head into town. Our objective is to weed out the fake, as well as meet up with Amelia.
I know Puck is with her, but we can't have her wander around alone for too long.
Nervous laughter. Oh, yeah.
I doubt something like that will happen again, but we should still meet up with her as soon as possible. Do you know where she was going, Rem?
As I understood it, she was to visit each of the royal candidates, but I do not know in what order.
You're her attendant. Why did you not ask?
However, she did not visit Miss Cruchet, so she must be visiting one of the other 4 candidates.
The other candidates, huh? All of them have pretty interesting personalities. Priscilla is the most abrasive, but Felt can be pretty difficult to manage too. Then you have Anastasia, the cunning merchant. And on the other hand, Melty's complacency soothes my heart. She just makes me want to coddle her.
Ugh, now's not the time to get distracted. Besides, of those 4, we only know where 2 of them live. Priscilla's got her own estate, and we know Melty stays at her church, but where are the other 2?
Miss Anastasia has a branch office in the royal capital. As for Miss Felt, I would assume she is residing in the Estrella family's house?
Ah, Reinhardt's place. I guess that's only natural. I doubt she'd rebuild the demolished loot house. In that case, should we check in with Felt first? We didn't get to talk to Reinhardt yesterday. Rem? Is something wrong? You've got a weird look on your face.
No, it's just that meeting with Miss Felt's Sir Reinhardt makes me anxious.
So what's this thing about an imposter again? Okay, so there's this whole thing called the Royal Selection, and it determines out of 5 candidates which is going to be the new leader of the country. Let me see. It's been a while since I saw the original anime. But essentially 5 candidates are chosen per a prophecy, and these magic stones determine which people are the candidates. And there are supposed to only be 5 stones. But apparently a 6th stone was found and a 6th candidate showed up, so that goes against the prophecy, and they need to weed out the imposter before they can go through the royal selection process. Is it like some alien zombie puppet that'll sprout tentacles and eat the children? No, that's Among Us. But, I don't know, I guess the sucky part is, if you hadn't seen the anime, you'd be good. You wouldn't have any idea who the imposter is in this. But having seen the anime, the imposter is obvious since it's the character that isn't in the anime. It's Melty, the nun, and her 2 guards, or 2 knights. because this plot is visual novel only, and that character is visual novel only. So it sucks that we basically already know, or I basically already knew who the imposter is. It's not ruining it, but it definitely has an impact, I'd say.
Anxious? Oh, because he's so famous? I never pegged you as one of his fangirls.
Oh, well, how about that, you cheats? I just watched the anime. I'm not a cheat. Sounds like a skill issue. Ouch. Ouch.
No, that's not it. Rem belongs to Subaru, so that has nothing to do with it. I met Sir Reinhard once before, some time ago. He made a very strong impression back then.
Huh. I didn't expect you to know him from before. What kind of vibe did he let off?
Flames.
Oh. Yikes.
Huh?
Flames, taking the shape of a person.
Ah. I get it.
I feel bad for Rem, but our first destination is Felt's place. If we're gonna put a pin in the Witch Cult's plans, we need a really strong ally at our side. And I realized this while talking to Ferris, but Amelia and Felt are in similar positions. Nobody thinks either of them are capable of winning the royal selection. This means they have less of an incentive to falsely claim themselves to be royal candidates. That's what makes Felt more trustworthy than the rest. Okay.
Besides, if I hadn't interfered, she would have been killed by that assassin Elza.
It's a big risk planting an imposter into the royal selection. It's not something that has an immediate benefit, let alone after only a month or two. Since Felt was in the slums up until a month ago, the suspicion on her should be lifted.
To think her living in the slums would be a deciding factor in my deductions. Just goes to show that you never know what'll happen to you.
Come on, at least make her an intellect devourer or something. I mean, I'm actually kind of hoping she's like some monstrous beast underneath or something. I know nothing about her other than that she's a nun, and she's the 6th candidate, and therefore the imposter. She's really nice. Like, really friendly, which, you know... Yeah, so, I mean, who knows? She could, in fact, be an intellect devourer, and we could need to use tanks to defeat her.
What are you muttering to yourself about? You're weirding me out here.
Sorry.
Either way, it's thanks to you I get to escape from that cramped room. I can't just stay cooped up in there when I've got company.
Yep, hi Felt.
I'm glad to see you're doing well, but why are you stuck in your room?
I have to study for the royal selection. I did say I'd participate after all. It's not like I can just half-ass it. I mean, I get it, but that Reinhardt doesn't understand moderation because he's inhuman, unlike the rest of us.
I don't know if I'd put it that way. Where is he, by the way? Is he not coming?
Huh? Reinhardt's not in the royal capital right now. I think he said he had some sort of secret mission or something. Then he left just like that.
What? Then when is he coming back? And what do you mean, secret mission? Who gave him those orders?
Don't get so close. I can feel you breathing on me. Look, I don't know anything. It's not like I heard it all myself, so I don't know who told him about it. Once the royal selection starts, Reinhardt will be serving me as an attendant. That's probably why they sent him away right now.
Damn it! Talk about bad timing. No, the person who gave those orders is to blame.
I just lost the ace up my sleeve. I wasn't prepared for or expecting anything like this in the slightest.
Guess there's no point moping around about it. Will you let me know when he returns? We're staying at an inn in the royal capital.
I don't mind, but did you and that maid of yours need to discuss something urgent with him?
I apologize for not introducing myself earlier. I am Rem, a servant of Margrave Mathers's household. Rem also belongs to Subaru.
I don't think you're saying words right. Because you don't. He's not a slave driver. You don't belong to anyone.
The heck's that supposed to mean?
Hang on! Don't make it sound so weird. I'm devoted to melee after all. You should already know how hard I've been working on that front.
Hey, whatever you do in your free time is none of my business. Just try not to get stabbed when it all blows over.
Please be at ease. If something ever happens to Subaru, I will follow after him.
Be at ease for what? That sounds so ominous coming from such a cute face and voice.
I would like to apologize again for the trouble Miss felt. But has Miss Amelia stopped by here recently?
I'm totally being ignored.
That elf girl? Nope, haven't seen her. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Don't tell me she's walking around town all by herself. Just so you know, when I stole that dragon insignia before, she was pretty distracted and left a lot of openings for me to snatch it. Is it really a good idea to leave her alone like that?
Her insignia?
We got it, we got it. Thanks for the intel. Please continue treating Mealy well. And please help her on her path to become the next ruler.
You idiot, that's what I'm trying to do too! Jeez, you really are something else.
Still, we have the same goal. Oh, and just so you're aware, I don't think you're the fake candidate.
Well, there's no point in faking my way to the top when I barely stand a chance, is there?
So you thought of that too?
Since I got dragged into this, I have to take it seriously.
I see. You're right.
Anyway, I don't really suspect you or that girl of yours either. But the others are still pretty suspicious to me.
So then, will you cooperate with us?
Ha! Don't get ahead of yourself. That doesn't change the fact that we're still enemies. Real, fake, it doesn't matter! I'll beat down anyone who stands in my way!
You sound way too excited about that. But coming from you, I assume you're not joking around. Just be careful. If Reinhardt ever comes charging at me, the best I can do is cry uncle.
I wouldn't be so underhanded. I'd never rely on that guy, so don't go thinking I can't handle things myself.
I know, I know. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt there.
After our exchange, I decide it's time to take my leave. But before I do...
Oh, and by the way, Old Man Rom wanted to say thanks.
Old Man Rom? To me?
That's right. He said he wouldn't have found what he was looking for if it weren't for you.
Ah, I see. Okay then. Tell him it's no biggie.
Alright.
Felt then waves us off and returns to her manor. Seeing her leave, I felt like I wordlessly understood the true meaning of old Rom's gratitude.
I didn't mention it was for me. But I guess he could tell who left him the message with that shopkeeper.
Though it was merely a means to call him to the castle and purposely get him caught, I kind of feel bad about being thanked for being so devious.
I'll bring him some booze next time we meet.
Subaru?
Oh, sorry. Just talking to myself. Alright, let's head to the next candidate.
Yes.
Felt's place was a big miss. At least I got her to tell Reinhardt to contact us when he gets back. But I still didn't learn anything new so far. Damn, I got us off to a bad start.
Not at all. You still have many good qualities about you, Subaru. Rem could watch you all day and never be bored.
That's kind of creepy. I'm not gonna lie.
Is that so? Wait, I feel the conversation got a little derailed there. But thanks for the reassurance, Rem. Still though, if we could just meet up with Mealy, we might be able to get back on track. Huh? Is it just me, or did the cutest girl in the world just pass by?
Speaking of, I believe that was indeed Miss Amelia. We should follow her.
Right. Hey, Mealy!
She was probably trying to be stealthy.
Huh? Did she not hear me? Hey! Mealy? Mealy!
She is trying to be stealthy, and you suck at this.
The heck? Why isn't she answering me? What do you think is going on, Rem?
It's possible Miss Amelia may have a twin. Otherwise, I believe she is merely ignoring you. Did you do something to upset her, Subaru?
I haven't done anything. And besides, you and I have been together the whole time since we split up this morning.
We will be together for all time? Oh my, you're making me blush.
That's not what he said at all.
This isn't the time to be joking around! There's only one thing to do. I've got to cut her off. Hey there, Mealy. How'd you like to get some tea?
Miss Amelia just blew Subaru away. Huh? Oh, I'm sorry. I was lost in thought and... Wait. Is that you, Subaru? What happened to you?
You're so powerful, Mealy. Well, I'm fine as long as you weren't ignoring me on purpose. I guess this is just how you show physical affection.
What are you going on about now? Master Felix finished treating Subaru, so we were trying to find you, Miss Amelia, and then... He ran into me while I was spacing out, right? Jeez, you're such a klutz, Subaru.
You certainly don't hear words like that every day. Anyway, I followed your directions to a T. But what's got you so hung up, Mealy?
Well, to tell you the truth, I was thinking about how I should go about bettering my relations with the other candidates. You mentioned something about that before. I went to talk to them all, but...
They turned you away at the gates, huh?
Oh, no, nothing like that. Priscilla wouldn't see me, but Anastasia did. She did say it was hard to accommodate for abrupt guests, though, and that I should make arrangements with her earlier for such occasions.
Yeah, I can see that. The head of a huge business like that is probably always swamped.
Yes. However, she did say that she would make time for me tomorrow. I've had a little bit of free time since then.
Were you heading to the next candidate? Rem and I actually just came from Felt's place.
Oh, I see. What did she have to say?
Well, at least she doesn't think you're the fake candidate.
Really? I'm glad to hear that.
But she did mention that she wouldn't show any mercy to her opponents, whether they're the fake or not.
She did? Well, I'm glad to hear that as well. You are? That sounds more like a declaration of war to me. But it's proof that Felt is taking my candidacy seriously. So that makes me happy.
I see. I don't like being looked down upon. But that does give us a slight edge.
As expected from Subaru. Rem admires your deviousness.
I think she has brain damage at this point. That's the only explanation. She's adorable, but...
Freezing!
Alright. And that means I don't need to speak with Felt today. The only one left is Melty. But where could she be?
Oh, I know. She's holed up in this church past the shopping district.
A church? I think I know where you mean. Let's head out.
Let's go!
Excuse me, but the church is this way.
Alright, we're here. This is her home.
Her... home? I thought this was a church.
It's both.
I just meant this is where she lives. Don't think about it too much.
I haven't had many opportunities to visit this place, but it appears to be kept up really well.
Rem seems to be impressed by the church's well-trimmed hedges and clean wall. Even an amateur like me can tell this place is being very well maintained. Whoever takes care of the hedges is especially thoughtful and has attention for detail.
I wonder if Melty did all this. You can really feel the tenderness of the person who trimmed them oozing out.
It could be, but we should hurry. Huh? There seems to be someone at the entrance. Perhaps Miss Melty had guests before us?
Very well, then. Please take care, Miss Melty. If anything should arise, please do not hesitate to consult me.
So aside from the from Melty probably being the imposter, or definitely being the imposter, I don't know if she's the villain, but I'm like 99% sure that this guy is a villain. I mean, look at those eyes. Look at that stash and goatee going on. That's that just screams villain, right?
As a civil official, I am indebted to assist you with any matter.
Thank you so much. That would be very helpful indeed.
We saw that guy at the meeting yesterday, right?
That is Sir Rickard Hoffman. He is a leading figure whose voice carries considerable weight in the royal castle. I believe he is a coordinator of civil affairs.
He's much more of a big shot than I gave him credit for. He sounded pretty friendly just now.
Melty really is quite amazing.
Some people just have an aura about them that draws people in like that. Of course, you're still my number one, Mealy.
What was that? Sorry, I wasn't really listening. Did you say something?
Damn, shot down.
The mood's ruined now. I can't just repeat it.
Subaru, Miss Amelia, Sir Rickard is coming this way.
Ah, crap! Mealy, you hide over there.
Huh? Why should I... Okay. Don't push me.
Avoid the evil villain.
I could have sworn someone was here. Oh, it's just a cat. It has been quite a while since I last stroked one's fur. Here, kitty kitty.
Oh god, that's creepy.
Oh, never mind. It's just a mutt. I couldn't care less about such filthy beasts.
I don't know how to feel about
was
that.
a close one. I wish there was a way to identify cat lovers from dog lovers.
Subaru, you made for an excellent cat just now. Can you do it again for me?
Sure, if I get the chance. But more importantly, let's go in the church, Mealy.
Oh, yes. Rem, remember Subaru's agreement just now? Yes, of course. Rem is always looking forward to Subaru's impersonation.
I never thought you'd be so into it, too. Hello?
Yeah.
Yes. Subaru! And Miss Amelia, welcome! Thank you for stopping by. I'm sorry this is so sudden. Do you have a moment to spare right now? Yes, of course. Let's not talk out here. Please, come inside.
We'll gladly take you up on that.
Please, have some tea. Though I'm unsure if it will please your rather exquisite palate.
Thank you, Tiga. And thank you for sending us notice from the royal capital before.
Oh, think nothing of it. I happily volunteered for the job. It was quite an honor to meet you beforehand, Miss Amelia. Ow!
Sorry, my foot slipped.
That's some slip-up for someone who's sitting! You don't have to worry. I'm not making any advances toward Miss Amelia.
Why, are you saying she isn't worthy of being hit on?
Yep, that's...
You're so difficult.
Oh, Subaru, stop troubling Tiga with your silly behavior. He didn't come here to play around. Yes, she's right. So what business did you have with me today?
We want to get to know you better. What your hobbies are, likes and dislikes, maybe play some games?
So you did come to play! Though I admit, I'm happy about your intentions. I would also like to be on friendlier terms with Miss Amelia and Subaru. I'm glad to hear that. We may be a bit rowdy sometimes, but I'd like for us to continue getting along. Oh, yes, same here. I may have much to learn still, but I look forward to spending time with you.
You two sound like you're about to get married or something.
My Mel certainly has grown up. I always knew this day would eventually come. Isn't that right, Ma?
You bet, Mom. Please treat Mealy well, too.
What a complicated family relationship. Does this mean Rem is the husband?
What the hell?
No more playing house. Let's be serious about why we came here. We know the royal selection was delayed because of an imposter showing up, but we fall into their trap if we all suspect each other. It wouldn't be very fun, would it? That's why we'll reverse their expectations and become allies. Wouldn't that be a satisfying way of getting back at them?
I see. You've really thought of something interesting here.
But I agree wholeheartedly. All of us really should get along. Yes, I feel the same way. I want us to be on the best of terms.
To do that, we're gathering more allies. You've got the same goal, right? You do seem to be steadily increasing in support.
Hold on. Where did you hear about that?
You had a guest before us, right? We overheard a little bit of your conversation. We didn't want to intrude, so we held back a little ways off.
Sir Rickard Hoffman, correct? Someone as high-ranking as him would be very reliable to back your campaign.
Oh dear, you've seen right through us. Just so you know, it took a lot to get him on our side.
A lot of what?
Well, there were many tea dates, discussions, making sure Mel was as cute as possible when they met.
I see. Using cuteness as a tactical advantage. But no one can surpass Mealy in...
Subaru, what happened?
I just imagined Mealy enticing strangers with her charm and my heart nearly exploded with jealousy.
You really are something else!
Oh, you have guests? You seem to be enjoying yourselves quite a bit. My, if it isn't Miss Amelia and Subaru. Ah, and Rem as well. Are you here to scope out your competition?
You think we're so shameful as to scout out enemy movements? At least give us some credit since we're here as friends.
It's true. Though it all amounts to the same in the end.
Miss Amelia and her associates are here to form friendly relations with us. With the royal selection, we're kindling the fire of motivation to keep on going. That's right. I feel as if I could take on anyone right now.
Oh my, you've really hit it off with each other. I'm relieved Melty is making so many friends.
You would be, given that she's the imposter. Seems kinda sus.
What's this? This is no good, Tiga. Don't you have any snacks to go with the tea?
Ah, sorry about that. Please wait. I'll bring some out right away.
No, stay here, Tiga. Keep Melty and our guests company. As for the snacks, Subaru, would you be so kind as to help little old me?
Me?
That's right.
There's no need to have Subaru handle such menial tasks. I shall help you.
Rem, wait. She asked me, so I'll help.
Subaru, but...
You stay here with Mealy. It's fine. I'll be back before you know it.
I understand.
All right then. The snacks are right over here. Please follow me, Subaru.
Taking bets. Does she try and kill him when they get to the back room?
Well, you went out of your way to get me to help you, so what'd you want to tell me?
My, aren't you hasty? I may have really just wanted your help preparing these snacks.
In that case, I'll help you out since you're so pretty.
Oh, welcome to the stream, Orphan. We're playing ReZero, the tactical visual novel. Emphasis on the visual novel, apparently. And I really hope you can hear me. I have the volume up pretty loud.
Oh, you flatter me. Won't Miss Amelia get jealous if you say things like that?
I'll gladly set myself on fire for the chance to see her jealous over something like that.
The chat needed a man of culture, a Jarl, if you will. I'd more go for an Earl, if you want my personal opinion. Maybe one who is, into pudding? Nah. Kick the imposter off the spaceship, Alaris. Yeah, I'd love to. I'd love to. If we could hold a vote. But I can't get to the red button. Seems I overshot my bold approach. What's it gonna take for Mealy and me to have a bright future together?
Oh dear, so complicated. But I suppose it's all right. I'm rooting for you, Subaru.
Really? That's weird. Is it any better now?
Whoa, you're a really good person, Sakura.
You and Miss Amelia are just so easy to impress.
Oh my gosh. It's gonna start peaking at this point. Yeah. I think if I put it up any more, it's gonna start peaking, and that's gonna just sound awful. It might be your, you might have to turn up your sound. I don't know. I'll... Hold on, let me see. Hold on, let me see. Yeah, I can hear it. I don't know.
Very well. Let's get to the main topic.
Do tell. Let me guess. Are you and Tiga the masterminds behind Melty's whole operation?
Masterminds? I'm not sure what you mean, but we do put a lot of thought into her campaign. What I'm about to say has to do with that. Along with Melty and Tiga, we don't believe Amelia is the imposter.
Well, no shit. Amelia's not the imposter. Is this game canon? No. So, I mean, a lot of the stuff that happens in the anime happens in this as well. But the whole imposter candidate plotline is not canon.
After all,
there's no point faking your way to the top when you barely stand a chance against the competition, right?
Oh, right. Cannon, as in a tank cannon. Yeah, I believe you're looking for 1N for the type of cannon you're looking for.
yes. We also believe Miss Felt is out of the question, too. The chance of both your camps being fake is quite low, which means suspicion is placed on the other 3 remaining camps.
Yeah, I'm growing impatient too. I'm really waiting for the cannons to pop up. I mean, we had some explosives in the first fight, but it mostly actually just killed Subaru, so he picked them up and then they exploded.
3? Aren't there 4 others?
Oh, Subaru, you know full well that we would exclude our own. Logically, that leaves 3 camps.
Right, sorry.
Reminds me I have to finish the anime. Hey, me too! Thankfully this doesn't appear to go past what I've seen, which is Season 1.
Duchess Crochet Carson, Chairwoman Anastasia Hoshin, the Bloody Bride Priscilla Bariel.
The Bloody Bride? Is that her actual name? Jeez. Why is the protagonist named after a car? That's a good question. Is his first name Subaru or is his last name Subaru? That's a good question. Oh god, I'm having flashbacks. And Subaru is a common Japanese name. Yeah, it is true. It is a common Japanese name.
One of them is the fake royal candidate.
Wait, are the Subaru cars like Japanese? I guess that would make sense. See, I know nothing about cars, so I'm actually curious. Is it like a Japanese company or model? And if so, the company or model was probably named after a person.
I think that's my first time hearing Priscilla's title. But man, that's a pretty scary name.
From what I've heard, men who dared marry her have died one after the other. That is how she acquired her renown.
Oh, that's dark.
I see. That aside...
So, Japanese people are basically driving around in the equivalent of a Fred. I drive a Fred. Yeah, I guess that's how that comes off. It is Japanese, and I don't know what to make of what he just said. So they've narrowed it down to those 3. I can accept her reasoning to that end, but how can we narrow it down further?
Also, this is just something I heard, but it seems you've been coming and going from Miss Crochet's estate recently.
You've got some good ears. It's not like I was trying to hide it, but I also haven't been blabbing about it to the whole world.
Actually, it means unite, Subaru, so they drive a unite. So the word Subaru, or the name Subaru, means unite? Interesting.
That's all thanks to a little friend of mine. But back to my main point. You have been visiting her manor, yes?
I have, yeah. Though I've only been going there so Ferris can treat my gate.
The reason doesn't necessarily matter. But since you are able to come and go as you please, you should use it to your advantage.
For what?
When you go to the Karsten Manor, something may catch your attention that might seem out of place. Don't you agree that that would be beneficial in finding the imposter?
You must go. Your people need you. Are you going to float in the sky at 3 frames per second? And then die on the way back to your home planet?
I get that, but...
I mull over Sakura's suggestion. Putting it simply, I'd be spying on Cruchet. She wants me to gather intel under the guise of receiving my treatment. Oh, and there went Orphan. May he rest in peace.
I really don't see Cruchet being the fake, though. She's not the type of person who'd do something so underhanded.
I truly believe that. I may not be super confident in my ability to judge someone's character, but I've got 2 reliable eyes on me. I'll just trust in what I see. Cruchet has a sincere, albeit blunt, personality. I don't see her as someone who would outright ignore the laws of this world.
I understand. However, I also believe that way of thinking is a hindrance.
My way of thinking?
You don't search for evidence of a cover-up simply because you suspect someone. You do it to clear that person of suspicion. You can buy yourself peace of mind through your actions that way. If you truly believe Miss Cruchet isn't the imposter, then that naturally leaves the other 2 as suspects.
That's true.
If you find something that troubles you, I can help talk you through it. It's better to have 2 heads think through a problem than 1, no?
You're so suspicious. Like, if I didn't know, you're just so... I don't know.
Please do think it over. It's a special promise, okay?
Ah, Subaru. That took quite a while. The tea has already gone cold.
Oh, sorry. To tell the truth...
I apologize, Miss Amelia. A large bug entered the kitchen, and I had Subaru dispose of it for me.
Oh, really? You could have called me. I would have helped you resolve the issue rather quickly.
Are you comfortable around bugs, Miss Amelia?
I did used to live in the forest, after all. There weren't that many bugs there because of the cold weather, but I did see some from time to time.
I see. Mel can't handle bugs.
Hey, Tiga! We don't need to reveal everything about ourselves. It's okay. The next time a bug shows up, I'll gladly dispose of it for you. Miss Amelia, you're so kind. I really enjoy your company. But not yours, Tiga.
Oh there, Mel. I didn't mean anything by it. Could you find it in your heart to forgive me?
Are you okay, Subaru? You look pale.
Yeah. I'm fine. Sorry to make you worry. I'm in peak condition.
That's good, but...
It's okay. I'm fine.
I really shouldn't worry those 2 like this. But I have to do this. It's something Amelia would never be able to do, and it's my duty to stay in the royal capital and see this through. She is manipulating you! Loop 2, Day 6. After everything that happened, the night passes on.
Hey, Mealy. What are your plans for the day?
Let's see. I have an appointment with Anastasia toward the end of fire time. But until then...
Pardon the sudden intrusion. Is Miss Amelia present?
Yes, that's me.
Good morning. Do you have a moment?
The soldier showing up reminds me of last time. If my hunch is correct...
Are you calling her to the castle?
Yes. If you could accompany me to the royal castle, the Council of Wise Men is awaiting you.
The Council of Wise Men? I don't mind, but what is it for?
Miss Amelia, in accordance with yesterday's meeting, they have summoned you for questioning.
They want to interrogate her? This is rather sudden. You should have contacted us well in advance.
I apologize. However, I am but a humble soldier serving the kingdom.
Rem, there's no need to scold him. He's just doing as he's told.
But...
Don't worry, I'll be fine. I will comply. But I do have prior engagements, so I'd like to return before it gets too dark.
I will let the Council of Wise Men know. I take it you are prepared to pay them a visit?
Yes.
Then I'm coming too.
Not so fast. You have your appointment with Ferris. You need to remember your obligations.
What? No way! This is way more urgent!
You always try to wriggle your way out of this. I won't allow it.
Oh, come on. Rem,
Ow.
say something, will ya?
Damn cat. Hi, cat. How you doing? Good kitty.
Rem agrees with Miss Amelia. Your treatment is of higher priority. Rem will accompany Miss Amelia.
I thought you were on my side, Rem!
I feel torn, but there's no other choice. At this rate, Subaru will literally be torn apart.
Has my situation always been so dire?
She's right. You need to remember the frail state your body is in and listen to what Ferris tells you. I apologize for the wait. Can you please guide me to the royal castle now?
Yes, right this way.
Subaru, please be careful. The royal capital is quite a big place after all.
Rem, Mealy might get treated badly at the castle. So can you?
I understand. Please leave this matter to Rem.
With that, Emilia and Rem leave me behind and depart for the castle.
Now that I think about it, it's pretty strange. The day she's supposed to be questioned is off from last time. Did this happen because she stayed in the capital?
I mean, you've changed a number of things at this point, bud.
It's no use. Thinking about it doesn't do me any good. I just know they won't be fair to her this time either. I guess I'll do what I can in the meantime. For now, that means I should probably go see Ferris. That was one rough ride, but I made it. I always get nervous when I try to call for them because there's no intercom. Huh? Who's that?
Oh, what have we here? Now this is unexpected.
Huh? Have we met somewhere before?
He's in like a proper modern suit, I think.
No, but I do know of you. You're Miss Amelia's attendant.
Yeah, I'm Subaru Natsuki. But I don't consider myself her attendant. More like her knight.
I see. Thank you for the humble introduction. I shall follow suit. I am Russell Fellow. I represent the Royal Capital's Merchant Guild. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you. But if you represent the Merchant Guild, does that mean you're a big-shot merchant or something?
Pardon me. I do represent them, but it just basically means I'm a handyman for odd jobs. My days typically have me running about the Royal Capital doing various odd jobs for them. However, this is rather fortunate.
Russell Fellow? Yeah, that does sound suspicious. We've got another sus guy here.
What is?
Meeting you here, Mr. Natsuki. It's quite a good fortune for me. I do hope next time Miss Amelia will be with you as well.
Yeah, sure. Mealy and I share the same fate after all.
Ah, yes, he is a normal human in a normal human suit. In this fantasy world, that's definitely not suspicious at all.
Yes, it would be even more fortunate should the opportunity arise. But that's all the time I have for today.
Throw him in the lava pit. Yeah, we should.
Oh, okay.
Call the vote.
I hope you'll support Mealy in her campaign. Wait, I'm supposed to keep her from standing out!
What an interesting young man.
Man, I really screwed up. That guy had a weird aura about him. Merchants in the Royal Capital are pretty intimidating.
Done.
Am I fully healed now?
Nope, not even close. We'll be doing the same thing tomorrow, too.
I see you've really been put through the ringer. It's unusual for someone to make such a face after Ferris's healing.
Miss Cruche, I'm sorry for such an unseemly sight.
So rude, and I can't even deny it.
Is Subaru wearing a New Balance sports jacket? Yes, because in addition to all of the things, this is also an isekai. Subaru's from the real world. Trademarked. He walked through a portal, ended up in this fantasy realm, and his superpower is that he resets time when he dies. But it is quite traumatizing. So, I mean, it's a very powerful superpower, but it's very traumatizing. He's not allowed to tell anybody about it, or else he dies or they die. Very not pleasant.
How is Subaru Natsuki's body?
You know, it's harder than I thought. He really feels like a man.
Oh, so it's like Happy Death Day. I've never heard of that, but yeah, pretty much. Probably.
I don't think that's what she was asking!
That's just Ferris's sense of humor. I'm surprised to see you alone today.
Yeah, some soldier from the castle stole Mealy and Rem away from me today.
From the castle? Do you mean they were called to the royal castle?
Since the fake candidate is still roaming about, they apparently had some leftover questions for her.
I see. Knowing that, I may be called in as well.
Nah, I'm sure you'll be fine. I mean, you're...
Obviously not the imposter. Of course, Miss Cruche is the real deal, so I understand what you're saying, Subaru.
I don't enjoy being given such special treatment. If the other candidates are being investigated, then I should as well.
I think it's a movie. Probably? Kind of sounds like the name for a movie.
You're so serious all the time, Cruche.
When I see her bold determination, it's hard imagining her being the imposter. However, I just realized I haven't saved in a while.
I'll record this.
Girl gets murdered, wakes up in the morning, gets murdered, wakes up until she figures out the killer. Oh, well, that's just convenient. I mean, that's pretty much how these plots usually go for him. Since he has extremely limited magic, no practical, like, physical skills. So he kind of has to figure out how to resolve the problem without fighting it himself. Whatever it is that's causing his death or the death of people he cares about. And it's her birthday, so, get it? Happy Death Day? Yeah. Because it's like birthday.
One of the three, huh?
Thinking about it logically, the fake should be either Cruche, Priscilla, or Anastasia. But I can't bring myself to think that Cruche would fake her way into the royal selection.
You have quite the troubled look, Subaru Natsuki. I'm willing to listen to whatever is on your mind if you'd like.
Even if I don't want to think about it, I can't not think about it. Like why the royal selection was postponed.
If you aren't guilty of anything, you should hold your head up high. At the very least, I can assure you that I do not suspect Amelia.
That's pretty comforting to know. To be honest, I think you're a reliable person. But... never mind. But now that it's on my mind, why do you want to be the next ruler, Cruche?
This is rather sudden. Though I suppose it's natural to wonder.
Miss Cruche.
I aim to rule this nation simply because I am qualified to do so, and my background is that of a noble.
That's not a good reason.
Royal blood runs in my veins, though it's only a small amount. There is no reason for me not to participate.
Still not a good reason.
However, above all else...
Yeah?
No, it's nothing. I aim to become this nation's next ruler out of obligation. Is my answer sufficient enough for you?
Yeah, I appreciate it. So, it's out of obligation, huh?
In other words, it's noblesse oblige? Her responsibility as a privileged person to carry out her duty. If I'm being honest, I would have laughed in the face of anyone who said that if they weren't Cruchet, but Cruchet's steadfast eyes tell me she's being sincere.
You intend on remaining in the royal capital with Amelia for a while longer, yes? We should have dinner together again.
Okay then. I'll let her know. We'll be looking forward to it.
But if Mew say things like that, won't Rem get jealous, Meow?
Don't get me wrong. Rem's cooking is better. I'm just looking forward to eating together.
She might still get jealous, Meow.
Do you really not want to eat with me that much?
That's not what Fairy is saying, Meow.
Ferris, you shouldn't tease him so much. It would be problematic if you thought I was inviting him as a joke.
Yes, Miss Crochet.
Jeez.
I scratch my head awkwardly as I watch their friendly banter. After I leave Cruchet's place, I confirm that Amelia is still at the castle. In the meantime, I decide to pay a visit to the church.
So you're saying Miss Cruchet is no longer a suspect?
That's what I think. That's more or less just a feeling I get about her, though.
Oh, no. I was the one who asked you to look into her. That's very interesting. This will be a good reference.
Sakura forms a slight smile. I make a sullen face at the sight. Honestly, I wasn't really keen on spying on her in the first place. Not to mention that I didn't get much useful info. I don't feel good at all receiving this kind of compliment.
Guilty conscience. It wouldn't have felt right even if it did work out.
Please don't get so gloomy about it. It's not as if you didn't have any results to show for it.
No, but it's not like I got anything substantial out of it either.
Oh, but you did. There's your evaluation of Miss Cruchet, and that man you ran into in front of her manor.
In front of... Oh, Russell? He said he represented the Merchant Guild.
Exactly. Having someone like him visit Miss Cruchet, doesn't that smell awfully fishy?
You say that, but I assume he was just visiting his patrons like a good merchant, right?
Well, that is a possibility. But it seems like Miss Cruchet has you right under her thumb, Subaru.
Yeah, so Melty, Tiga, and Sakura aren't in the anime at all. They're part of the whole imposter plotline that does not exist in the anime. Now, they could flip and turn this whole thing on its head and have one of the... Since it's not canon at all to begin with, they could have one of the original candidates be the actual imposter and have Melty, the nun, be legitimate. Which would be kind of interesting, or they could do... Since this is supposed to be a visual novel with choices, not that I've had one in the past 2 hours, but they could have it be dependent on your choices. I don't know if they're actually doing that, but that'd be interesting at least.
Are you planning on switching your allegiance?
What? Of course not! Mealy's the only one for me. I'd never turn my back on her. Don't even say things like that!
Yes, yes. In that case, you need to be more skeptical of those around you. Didn't I tell you before? There are 3 possible imposters, and Miss Cruchet is one of them.
I know, but still.
I understand I need to be more wary, but that doesn't mean I should distrust everything and everyone. Like Sakura said, there are 3 questionable camps, meaning 2 of them are being falsely accused.
Subaru, I'm glad you've returned to visit again.
How typical of my best friend. Coming over for a playdate several days in a row now.
We barely met a couple days ago. Who does this guy think he is, getting all buddy-buddy with me?
You started it!
Were you and Sakura talking about something important?
Oh no, it's nothing too crucial. Subaru was just consulting me about something on his mind. He was saying he couldn't choose between how cute Amelia and Melty are.
Oh my god. 2 hours seems like a while to not have any input. Yeah, I don't know if I'm calling this a game at this point. I had a couple choices strewn throughout, like, the first couple streams. And obviously a couple of battles. But 2 hours, no choices, no battles. Just plot. And I'm not saying it's not interesting to me, but it's supposed to be a game.
What? He did?
Whoa, hang on now. I can't just ignore this, Subaru. Comparing Amelia and my Mel like that?
I'm not! I mean, yeah, Melty's cute and all, but Mealy's the only one for me! How many times have I had to repeat myself today? And she's not even around to hear it!
Subaru, how unfortunate.
Please don't get discouraged, Subaru. I'm rooting for you. And don't take advantage of his confusion to say weird things like that, Tiga. Gosh.
Oh dear, I've done it now. Subaru, do you need me to comfort you?
No need. It looks like we really are good friends after all.
Tiga's pretty straightforward with his emotions, but Melty hasn't noticed at all. He may have the looks, but I feel bad for him in that regard.
Anyway, I should get going soon.
Tactical dialogue. Grammar battle.
Huh? Already? But you just barely got here.
I'd love to stick around for tea if I could, but Mealy will be getting back soon. Oh, right. I almost forgot to pass along this gift. Rem baked some sweets for you to enjoy with some tea.
Baked sweets. Wow, they look so delicious. These make me really happy.
Why don't you try some right now? I'll let Rem know how much you like them.
Just a bite, right? Yes, about that.
Melty's eyes start darting around. Did I say something? Oh no, can she not have sugar?
Sorry, Melty. I didn't mean anything weird by it.
No, it's nothing like that. It's just,
I'll give it a try.
Ah. Right, having a taste tester.
It's crispy on the outside with just the right amount of sweetness inside. The inside is pretty fluffy too. I can imagine the cute face of the girl who made this.
It's because you say things like that that Melty doesn't believe your feelings for her.
You asked for an opinion, so I gave you one. Thanks for being a good sport about it.
Jeez. All right. I'll let Rem know. I'll see you around, Melty.
Oh, yes. Please watch your steps, Subaru.
Mel?
Thank you, Tiga. And I'm sorry.
It's nothing to apologize for, Mel.
Something seemed off about Melty before I left. Does she not like sweets?
Must have been pretty rude of me to ask her to try some in that case, but still.
The sweets Rem makes are so good that even people who don't like sweets would like them.
I don't think that's how sweets work. I don't think that's how taste buds work.
So, how'd the questioning go?
It wasn't very fun, I suppose. Unlike last time, Melty nor Cruchet were there. Oh, but it turned out fine. You have nothing to worry about, Subaru.
That's what Mealy says, but what really went down, Rem?
They invited Miss Amelia under the guise of questioning, but they were far more rude in their interrogation. Miss Amelia likely found it to be a very unpleasant experience.
Rem!
Come on, don't get mad at her. I expected as much anyway.
Really?
It's written all over your face, Mealy. I could tell with how gloomy you looked.
I'm sorry.
Amelia's apologizing, but if it went down like last time, then I already know what they talked about. They were actually probing her to see if she's the imposter. Almost like an inquisition. I think the royal castle is just trying to make a scapegoat out of Amelia, who's a half-elf, instead of trying to get the fake to reveal themselves. At the very least, that seems to be their priority. That means we shouldn't expect an impartial or transparent deliberation with them.
I guess even with her having stayed behind, that struggle hasn't changed.
Regardless, the intel we got yesterday shows that most of the other candidates don't suspect her as being fake. We all believe the same, so the council wanting to question her and pressure her to withdraw from the selection like that is just unfair.
It's kind of scary to think a country could operate under such rationale.
Miss Amelia, it's nearly time for your appointment. Oh, yes, that's right. Subaru, we're going to visit Anastasia now.
Right. Ferris already gave me my treatment for the day, so I'm definitely not missing out on this.
I knew you would say that. Just remember, we're not going there to play around. If you understand that much, then we'll be happy to have you along.
All right. It was so worth it having to endure all that pain.
Gameplay? Do you have a fresh cup of gameplay for me, please? If Crochet isn't the fake, then it has to be one of the remaining two, Anastasia included. I have to be there to protect Mealy, and to weed out the fake and expose the truth.
I've also got to keep that smug Knight Julius's paws off of Mealy.
Subaru, aren't you coming?
Oh, yeah, I'll be right there.
And so, we arrive at the designated spot, a tavern in the royal capital. Yeah, Alaris is the one feeling the pain here, Subaru. Yeah.
I recognize this place.
If I recall correctly, Anastasia and I had lunch here together last time.
I feel like I remember her saying she wanted to keep this place a secret.
I believe this is the right place. But where is Anastasia?
We've been expecting you. Thank you for taking the time to come. We have a table prepared in the back.
Oh, Julius. Will you be joining us as well?
Because this is a meeting between two royal candidates, I will be present as Miss Anastasia's first knight.
Right, of course. We shouldn't leave you out of such discussions.
I thank you for your consideration, Miss Amelia. And what say you?
Julius turns his gaze toward me. I stick out my tongue against his unpleasant attitude.
Yeah, I was listening. You don't have to be such a jerk every time I'm around.
Oh, how very presumptuous. As far as I can tell, it is you who has an issue with my presence.
You little... Ow! Mealy, you're gonna pull my ear clean off!
No fighting! I let my guard down for 1 second and your attitude's gone sour already. I'm sorry, Julius. Could you show us the way?
Yes, of course. Please, follow me.
You heard him. Come on now, follow along.
Ow!
So you've come after all, Amelia, as well as Natsuki. I am Rem. I am a servant of Margrave Mathers, and as such, attend these two. Thank you for such a courteous introduction. I'm Anastasia Hoshin, a royal candidate alongside Amelia. Or is it more appropriate to say I'm a candidate to be a candidate for now?
Miss Anastasia.
It's just a joke, don't get so worked up. Anywho, what has Subaru done to be punished like that?
Yeah, seriously, let me go, Mealy.
Only if you've repented.
I have! I'll do my homework diligently and brush my teeth before going to bed every night.
Doing your homework and brushing your teeth have nothing to do with this. But I understand.
I'm free. It was nice having Mealy touch me, but not at the cost of my ear.
No.
Please be at ease, Subaru. Even if your ear were to be torn off, Master Felix would patch it back up in no time.
That is not comforting at all.
I don't want it coming off in the first place!
Oh, are you acquainted with Ferris? I didn't expect that.
I'm just a patient. You two are probably closer, being Knights of the Royal Guard and all.
Yes, that's right. At least until the royal selection begins.
Brushes teeth tactically. Oh my god.
Once it does, Ferris and I, along with Reinhard, will no longer be Knights of the Royal Guard, but personal knights to our respective candidates. my work will be exclusively dedicated to Miss Anastasia. Of course, I expect Ferris and Reinhard to do the same for their candidates. If you intend on serving Miss Amelia, you would also do well to acknowledge that for yourself.
Thanks for the input. I've got some advice for you, too. You shouldn't eat curry udon in that suit. If the soup splatters, the stains will really stand out.
I see. I understand. I have no idea what this curry udon is, but I'll certainly keep that in mind.
Julius bows gracefully. Damn it, he returned fired my snark with his own.
It sounds like Julius and Natsuki are getting along rather well. We should do the same. Yes, I feel the same way. I'm very thankful that you made time for us today. Same for me, so no need to thank me over it. Now then, shall we eat? This may be a tavern, but I recommend their food far more than their beverages. I think you'll be quite surprised by what they offer here. Really? I'm looking forward to it then.
Afterward, the two enjoy a peaceful meal and conversation. I know full well how good the food tastes from last time. Although I was pretty nervous, so I didn't get to savor it.
This hamburger is amazing!
Hamburger?
Right? I just happened to stumble on this place with my attendants.
Tactical soup splatter. Oh my god.
Let's keep this place between you and me, alright, Amelia? Don't tell anyone else. Okay, I understand. But I feel like I'm doing something bad. It's making my stomach hurt.
Emilia isn't one to tell lies, so it's hard for her to keep a secret like this. Her angelic smile always puts a smile on my face. But to be honest, I worry about her political endeavors when she becomes the next ruler. In any case...
Did you really just come here to eat and chat?
Do you not agree with our approach?
It's more disappointing than anything. I heard Anastasia is this big shot merchant, so I figured there'd be more scrutinizing, like you'd be interrogating a demon or something.
Did you call for Rem just now?
Oh, right, Rem's a demon, by the way, everybody. And apparently answers to the call of demon.
Wrong kind of demon. You can sit back down.
Yes, Subaru. If you have any other requests, please do not hesitate to ask.
Once she sits down, Rem returns to devouring her hamburger. The sight of her chowing down on something so big with her small mouth is pretty cute.
Seeing this, there's a big difference in how each of the girls eat.
Rem takes small bites, while Emilia eats in bigger chunks, albeit still remaining as elegant as possible. And then there's Anastasia. Tactical hamburger eating.
So big and hearty. I feel a little catharsis watching her eat.
Is something on my face, Natsuki? Gawking at a woman like that while she eats is really rude, you know.
Rem is best girl. Rem is always best girl. Anybody who argues against that is just wrong. I'm sorry to say, if anybody in the chat disagrees, you're just wrong.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to stare.
Tactically devoured hamburger.
I was just kidding around. I'm not angry at you. I have no reason to be. I'm comfortable with the way I eat. Still, you've got the right idea.
Right idea?
The way a person eats really shows their personality type. It applies to everyone, including all of us here.
Tactical gawking.
It's also important to eat together to get closer to one another, and you can learn so much about people doing that. Having a meal with others is a tool I use to study them. That's amazing. You really analyze everything around you.
That's true. I wasn't even thinking about anything like that.
Table etiquette can also reveal how a person conducts themselves. Anastasia's rationale may be unconventional, but it makes perfect sense. But while I'm busy being impressed...
Miss Anastasia, I ask that you end your joking with that.
Huh? Oh, you noticed? You're much too serious, Julius. I wanted to string them along a little bit longer.
The goal of this engagement is to establish friendly relations. Why should I not be allowed to protest as such? As fellow royal candidates, there's no need to cause unnecessary feuds.
Yes, I'll admit I was in the wrong. So what exactly does that mean? Were you just making all of that up?
Tactical table etiquette. Oh my god.
Of course. I got lost in the casualness of our conversation, so please forgive me.
What? Here I was fawning over how impressive you were.
You can't actually tell all that just from the way someone eats.
It's true. And honestly, I mean, you probably can tell at least something from the way a person eats and how they conduct themselves at a lunch or dinner.
Damn, what a waste of sincere admiration.
I took everything she said at face value, but now I'm just disappointed, having fallen for her joke.
Sorry. As a proper apology, maybe I can show you my sense of intuition?
Intuition?
Yes. For example, Natsuki, you were originally the child of a respected household, but you've only recently begun doing serious work.
Oh?
You're still learning how to read and write, and while you may be nimble, your movements are too unrefined for that of a knight. If I had to say, Rem would make a better knight than you.
Damn.
As for how this meeting came to be, it was actually your idea for having her visit me yesterday. Well, am I correct?
Anastasia winks at me, my mouth hanging open in shock. She's spot on, hitting the mark on everything she just said.
That was truly amazing. How did you figure all of that out? It's nothing too difficult. One's upbringing is shown in their table manners, and how long they've been working is shown in how tidy or rough their fingers appear. Him not knowing how to read or write was mostly a guess, considering how confused he looked when he was trying to read the menus on the walls. I can't fight myself, but I do have my own private military force, meaning there are many around me who know how to fight. I can tell if someone is a soldier or not by how they carry themselves. Also, I think Amelia would have been more hesitant to meet with me by herself. I doubt a maid would make such bold suggestions, so the shameless proposal had to have come from Natsuki. That's all there was to it.
I'm not shameless, but you are right about everything else. And you did use our etiquette as a reference. That means it was useful.
Rem is also surprised. Miss Anastasia has excellent insight. You praise me too much. Nothing from you, Julius?
I'd like to say I'm impressed, but this is nothing I haven't seen from you already, Miss Anastasia. You are to become the next ruler, after all.
That's the best praise I could hope to get.
Oh goodness, did I... Yep, Anastasia smiles, but I'm astonished at her remarks. She lowers the bar to make it seem like she isn't anything special, but had been planning a way to upsell herself this whole time. It's an obvious form of entertainment? Form of entertainment.
If only I had the eyes to analyze people like you do, Anastasia. It's nothing too special. Besides, you may not be able to see through others, but you seem to get along rather well with them, Amelia. After all, you have some who are working very hard for you. Oh, yes. I'll do my best to work hard as well.
Looks like we ended this on a good note.
So it seems. Have you fulfilled your goal?
Don't make it sound like I've got some sinister plot. I just want to help Mealy recruit allies just in case something comes up.
I apologize. I meant no disrespect.
What?
I've been underestimating you till now. But it seems you've been working with Miss Amelia's best intentions in mind. More than I was led to believe. The you before me is acting in all sincerity. So I therefore apologize in kind.
Julius does an exaggerated bow as he says this. He may be irritating to no end, but his chivalry is so exemplary it makes me straighten my posture.
Natsuki. Julius just likes to embellish. It may be a little off-putting, but I do hope you two get along.
Basically, you're saying his more annoying quirks can be excused since he's a Knight of the Royal Guard.
Annoying is such a strong word. I've been going out of my way to show a friendlier side to you.
Yeah.
Seeing our exchange, Emilia lets out a laugh she's been holding in. Anastasia and Rem join in on the laughing. I'm in no position to fight back against Julius.
Jeez. We just ended up fooling around instead of having a serious discussion.
You're right. But I think that's okay every once in a while. It's like you said, Subaru. I may not have 100 friends, but I do want to do my best to appeal to everyone. I'm grateful you helped make that come true.
Yeah, May!
Mealy really is a major angel.
Is having fun during a meal not enough to satiate you? That's actually a pretty telling thing to someone like me. For example, Amelia is bolstering her relations not just with me, but with Cruchet and Melty as well, right? Although, I've heard that red-haired one is a different beast altogether.
Huh? Wow! You really do know everything!
Chivalry Tactics, War of the Ogre Queen. This was all just a giant waste of our time. A tactical waste of our time.
Hey, Mealy, that's a bit much.
That's going way beyond the scope of examining someone through their etiquette. That means...
Anything can be a side dish to a good entree. It's important to be prepared, right?
Oh, we got an item we can use. Key to negotiating. Anastasia mentioned that prior research is crucial in negotiations. Really? Go figure. Of course it is.
That's convincing enough.
We managed to fulfill our goal of getting a bite out of Anastasia, but our opponent also had her fill. Knowing that, this meal of attrition ends in a draw. Chivalry Tactics Meal of Attrition. That's what they should call this. Oh my god.
Man, I really don't stand a chance against her.
She isn't someone who can be so easily deconstructed. That's just who Miss Anastasia is.
Yeah. Oh, right. Julius. I don't mean to dampen the mood, but...
Yes? I suspect something rather important is on your mind.
That's right. There's a chance that some shady people might be plotting to attack each of the royal candidates. Watch out for anyone that looks like a jester.
Oh! So this is a throwback to like 5 hours ago game time, when I actually had a tactical battle against this guy.
If they stand out that much, even I wouldn't ignore them. Regardless, I will keep your word of caution in mind.
Good. Though I hope nothing actually happens.
After warning Julius, I look back at Amelia engaging the others in a seemingly nice conversation. It really would be nice if nothing came of this. At least, I hope nothing does.
Well, that was the dinner meeting. Did you enjoy yourself, Mealy?
Alright, well, I apologize to everyone that there was no... Well, that the only tactics we got in our tactical visual novel was tactical table etiquette. We now interrupt this visual novel to play a real game. I would, but, I actually have to head off and catch some sleep for work tomorrow before we, do our big multiplayer stream on Friday, so... Thanks for tuning in, guys, for the tactical table etiquette game. It was an experience.
I will write it down.
And I can even tell, because it'll show you, like in the first loop, There were a bunch of... Maybe not a bunch of... Wow. There were very few. There were at least some spots where you could make decisions. But in Loop 2, there's been nothing. It's just been a straightforward route. And that's been kind of really... Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Again, sorry it wasn't as entertaining as it could have been. But we'll be back tomorrow with an actual game. With real gameplay. Possibly involving zombies. But I'm gonna head off for the night. It's been fun. Hopefully next Wednesday I will actually have some tactical factors in this game. But until then, have a great night, everybody.